But I know that Paul's got his reasons, and Chauncey is treasonous, 'cause he's a skunk. What do you think, Paul? What do you think?
I kind of like the original, but
Nah, mine's better.
yours is, it's okay. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I think
better than most covers of Desperado that I hear.
I don't know, man. I think I did the definitive version.
All right.
Just going to put that out there.
I'm sure the Tajika fans in the audience will agree.
Yeah, hopefully so. No, they're all just going to tell me that 2011 TJ would have done it better.
Damn.
2011 TJ would have been all over that shit. You stuck now.
I'm starting to get the front edges of that shit now myself. People are starting to post my old videos.
You were better back in.
What happened to Paul? It's like fucking life happened to Paul, you pieces of shit.
It'll happen to them too. That's
I know.
Fucking.
It's so fucked up.
But you know what? They don't have a bunch of people that's gonna be like, man, you changed, bro. You changed.
Well, those still exist in most people's lives, but they won't have like 3,000 of them every day.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's like, fuck.
Bastards, man. Lucky bastards. So how's everybody doing? How many people we got in here so far?
Yeah, how many people are tuned in?
How many tuned in?
How many Patreons are watching live?
Patreones.
Yeah, I don't know why. Kind of got a wild hair up our asses to do a live thing. Haven't done a live thing for the patrons in a while. I guess we did the debates live.
Yeah, and that's why we can't do live streaming for like another month or so.
Oh, we got nailed for it?
Yeah. You didn't hear about that? Yeah, we got nailed. It's gotten to the point now where I guess it doesn't. We don't even.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it changes nothing.
Like, all right, yeah. So our channel actually can't live stream right now.
Great.
Funnily enough, hilariously enough.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I got a few different setups for this. I have this, my modified. Oh, it still says Hope over there. Well, it would have been too hard to change.
Yeah, that's fine.
But we got this one, and we got the high. Whipped up this weird shit.
The long road to nowhere. I like it.
Yeah. I just threw, I don't know. This is obviously not, I kind of was inspired by MySpace pages of the, early 2000s.
GeoCities, dude.
Yeah, it kind of has a GeoCities kind of feel.
I like it.
Too much going on, yet nothing congruent.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then the odd long road to nowhere.
Yeah. The long
Where does it lead?
To nowhere, obviously, right? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I guess it's right there on the.
Hold on, I'm getting a warning.
A warning?
No sound on Highdeology screen. Okay. Fix that.
All right. Well, that's good. That's good to know.
Good to know. All right, so we're going to go to the Highdeology screen for a minute. For a second, you won't hear anything, but then you will, magically. So, boom. Is that me? That's me. So now you can hear something. Now I just got to get Paul on here. Put him on there. Get him on there. I think you're input 3.
I don't know.
Tap it.
Check. 1, 2,
Yep,
1,
that's
2.
you.
All right.
So
now they can hear me.
Now they can hear both of us on the Highdeology.
So do you want to start with Highdeology, or do we want to abandon hope and then use Highdeology as like a...
I figure we kind of bounce back and forth, honestly. Like, maybe we get a little sick of one. We're like, ugh, these fucking chat is retarded. Let's go look at a news story.
I see. Por qué no dos option.
Nope, no audio. Yeah, there is. Shut up. I just told you that there would be no audio for a second.
There's a troll, dude.
Garbage. Kick Jason Moore's ass out of here.
Whoa. Damn.
No, we don't. I don't have time for disinformation bullshit. Get out of here, Jason. You're blocked.
Oh no, there he goes. Maybe he was behind enough.
Oh, all right. Sorry, don't block him. I guess.
Maybe it was a few seconds behind.
Yeah.
Unblock Jason Moore.
Unblock him.
Unblock that man.
I don't think they have the power to do that. Actually,
he's blocked.
I spoke too soon.
Dude, you're the hubris of
Hey,
TJ.
what the fuck? Doom Kid isn't a mod in here?
Oh, he's not?
There he is.
Or
I modded him.
where is this channel that we're on?
We're on my channel.
Oh, okay.
We're
Got it.
on, because like I said previously, there's no, bullshit, whatever, So he only got timed out, so that's good.
Oh, a happy ending.
So he'll be
Unlike
back.
unlike the ending to Old Yeller.
Yeah.
I thought he got Old Yellered. What do you mean what happened to Scotty? He's fine.
Yeah, Scotty is
He's right there.
right there, huh? I mean, he's a little loud. He's talking a little more than usual.
He's on a new diet. He's lost a couple pounds.
Yeah, you can see Scotty's lost a little weight. I mean, he's still kind of chunky, but,
And he's still Scotty.
Yep. And his class, and he's wearing the classic Scotty fedora.
Yeah,
That you've all come to
Scottora.
associate with Scotty. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Scottora is being worn.
Yeah.
So for you patrons, actually, we just did probably we're going to do it. I don't know if we're going to do it for the $10 people or who we're going to do it for, but anyway, we'll see. We just recorded a bunch of trailer reactions before we did this because we're just like sitting around bored. So we're like, fuck it, let's just do some trailer reactions.
Yeah.
I was just going to start this early, but Paul's like, no, because what about the people that like marked it in their phone or whatever? And I'm like, I guess that's true.
Yeah, dude.
So-
See, I was the voice of the people.
Yeah. So Paul, if you just arrived, and you're glad that you got here on time, thank Paul because I was ready to jump the gun on this shit.
See?
No, Scotty's on a little trip, so that's why he's not here. But it doesn't matter.
A little
'Cause-
permanent trip. We killed him
Yeah.
and bleached his bones.
Hey, come
I
on.
mean, I'm sorry.
Settle down.
I'm used to being real open and honest on these ideologies, but
Good joke there, Paul.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul.
He's chained up somewhere. No, he was before we killed him and bleached his bones.
God damn it.
It's my birthday. This is the perfect birthday gift. Hey, well, fuck you.
Tell him the feast that you have planned for us tonight, TJ. Chef TJ.
Oh yeah, TJ's making dinner.
Yeah, it's Paul and his girlfriend and me and my wife doing dinner over here after this show.
That's right.
So pretty much as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to go fucking cook up some fillets, filet mignon,
Yeah, dude.
some well-marbled little fillets.
Oh, man.
We're also having mashed potatoes and gravy. We're also having some Parmesan roasted Brussels sprouts and some tempura green beans. So.
Holy
Oh,
cannoli, dude.
And then, of course, banana cream pie.
Oh, dude, what a great finish to the evening. I'm impressed. That's
Yeah.
that's quite the menu, TJ. You're
Yeah.
rolling out the fucking red carpet for me tonight.
Well, the banana cream pie is just a Marie Callender's frozen one, so
Oh, whatever.
That's not like home.
I'm not going to judge.
But everything else.
You're making
is-
Parmesan crusted Brussels sprouts.
Well,
TJ.
actually,
I'm not
Chelsea's pretty much in charge of the two sides.
Oh.
She's my sous chef. So,
Oh, gotcha.
but I'll handle up the steak. So hopefully those will turn out well.
Those, yeah,
And
those
I
are
whipped
going to be
up
great.
some mashed potatoes earlier, and I've also made some garlic butter, so it's gonna be good.
I got a taste of those mashed potatoes too. They're good.
Yeah, the mashed potatoes came out really well, so I'm
Yep.
pretty pleased with that.
Oh my god.
A little denser than I wanted, but whatever. You want two fillets? You two filet-lin Galen? It's not two filet Galen. It's two filet-lin.
Yeah,
Galen.
you have to spell it.
It's
right.
not two fillet Galen.
I love
That's like the country grime bucket kind of two fillet Galen went. It's like
Yeah.
no.
He's like the Johnny Appleseed of two fillets. He's just different regionally.
Yeah,
Two fillet gallon.
Chelsea bragging on my cooking skills. That's cool.
Yeah, look at you, dude. I'll be the judge of that tonight, but from
Yeah.
what I've seen so far, she might be right. TJ's fucking
We'll
found
see.
his calling, dude.
Yeah, I like to cook.
Chef TJ.
Chef TJ. Yeah. Sounds like some good cooking. It should be good. We'll see. A secret ingredient is fart. Oh, it's not a
Fart.
secret. It's not a secret. You put lemons in your garlic butter? No, I didn't do that. I have lemons, but I didn't think to like zest them with it or anything. Well, not zest, but to squeeze
Juice
any
'em.
lemon juice.
Wheeze the juice.
Yeah, I didn't do that. Yeah, I didn't really want that.
What's DFF going to be about tonight? I guess we could tell them.
Yeah. So after, as you guys know, after this show at 8:00 tonight, we're also going to be premiering the DFF episode we shot before, and it's about the party switch.
That's right.
You guys might have heard the argument from folks like Dinesh D'Souza,
Whoa.
where he makes the case that the Democrats were on the wrong side of the Civil War, and the Democrats started the KKK, and you didn't even have a majority of Democrats support the Civil Rights Act and stuff like that.
Right.
But then the counter that the Democrats like to toss out there is, well, the parties, there was a point where the parties switched. So that was kind of the counter argument. So we take a look at that and kind of see, like, what's the case for this party switch? When did it happen? Did it happen? When did it happen? All that stuff. Pretty fun, informative episode. Really depressing episode, too. So that's always fun. I like a depressing episode. I really like to just make people really sad.
Depressode?
Yeah, depressisode.
Well, it worked. I think I'm still recovering from the filming of that episode.
That's what I like to hear. I like to just psychologically destroy people with knowledge. I think that's a good place to be. No,
well,
but
fuck you for that.
I didn't know shit about it beforehand. It was an episode that I went into personally curious about the subject matter. I knew I had a very layman's understanding, and probably still do, honestly. But at least it's now maybe right. So that was kind of one of the things I really wanted DFF to do when I started. Okay, it looks like we might have stopped sending data to the encoder here. It says, we are not receiving data from your encoder. Please make sure it is configured correctly in the ingestion setting page. Let's see here. Everything's right. Recommended bitrate. And maybe I need to lower the bitrate or something.
Nobody's saying anything.
Yeah, maybe they're YouTube is a piece of shit, so they might be giving me bad information.
Yeah. Nobody in the chat has effed or anything.
So 1080 at 30. Okay, so 1080p, the fucking bitrate they recommend is 3,000 to 6,000.
Trevor says we can still see the stream, whatever that is. It's not affecting us.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Well, I'm just still gonna make a quick adjustment to the bitrate, I guess.
Okay.
Just for the sake of well, the bitrate's already fine. So whatever, fuck that. We'll let you guys let us know if something goes wrong. Well, someone who's trusted let us know.
Well, I mean, this is the patrons. They're all trusted.
Some of them are
some
of them are still fucking trolls, dude.
No, dude.
They might be nice trolls that give us money, but there's still
none of them
trolls.
are trolls. I beg to differ, TJ. I beg to differ. I've never seen a single troll amongst our patrons.
Please DFF Japan. Well, we had a lot of fun DFFing countries, so I think that you might see a return of that. Japan might be a fun one. Still solid 1080p. Yeah, okay. Well, whatever. Fuck YouTube. They're giving us bad information. Trusted children of Tamat.
How's life, dude? You don't want to know, dude. A tragedy.
Paul was telling me his back is hurting.
Oh yeah, my back hurts. So, I've been a nervous wreck lately.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
what do you want me to know? What do you want me to say?
Why are you a nervous wreck?
I don't, dude. If I knew the answer to that question, I wouldn't be a nervous wreck.
What do you worry about in your head? Is it
everything?
Just every trivial little thing?
Yeah, every little thing that I need to do in my life becomes this giant thing that all has this dire consequence at the end of it.
Yeah.
That never comes because it's all built up. And so I just want to retreat into a little cave and shake and shudder in there for a couple of days. And then I come out of this.
I feel like lifting weights has helped me out a lot with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, just having something to put that into, and I've gotten a lot better at it. I used to get tired. I listen to music while I do it.
Yeah.
And it used to be after one song, I was just fuck, I can't do it anymore. So now I'm at the point where it's 5 or 6 tracks will play, and I'll still be lifting and shit. So that's pretty good. And I'm now upgrading to the 25s because the 15s are getting too light for me. So,
damn. TJ's gonna get fuscular, dude. It's
my goal. I mean, I want to do it. So
yeah,
if I keep at it, it should happen, right? I mean, that's how it works.
Dude, I really do envy people that have really normal functioning human brains, though, man.
Oh yeah.
People that just kind of.
Who would you say really kind of typifies that for you?
I don't know.
What person do you look at and think that's the kind of fucking person I think
really don't know.
Really is what I'd want to be functionally wise.
Maybe nobody has that. Maybe there is no such thing as the normal human brain.
Right. That's what I'm kind of thinking about. It's I know so many different kinds of people, but I don't know anybody who's really gotten no sort of weird idiosyncratic shit.
Of course. I can't think of one that I know personally, and I can't think of one represented in the media that I would
Right.
You don't know enough about those people's personal
Even the
lives.
people that I look at and think like that's a cool person.
Right.
You know, it's
You
like
still don't know what it's like to be a prisoner in their fucking skull.
yeah, and not only that, but usually they don't strike me as like normal. Like if anything, they're just like aberrant in a more like pleasant way than other people.
Yeah.
You know?
Isn't that kind of an empathetic thought, though?
Probably.
Kind of like equalizes all of us, because it's also kind of lonely, though, too.
Yeah.
To think that like you truly have nobody that really knows what's going on upstairs except you. You're
That's
alone with
always-
yourself and your thoughts.
That's always a terrible thing. That's probably one of the biggest causes of like emotional pain in my life
Oh, really?
is like the idea that I can't really know a person's internal sort of self,
right.
and that they can't know mine. You know, I don't feel that way about everyday random motherfuckers on the street, obviously, but
Right.
like, you know, like people that I know that are in my life and shit.
Sure.
It's like, you know, I'd really like to be able to see and
Have that direct
Yeah.
link. Like
You know?
like the fucking aliens on what was that stupid fucking movie that the blue alien
Avatar.
yeah.
Yeah.
You want to just like plug your fucking weird flower stem into theirs and
Yeah, maybe. you know?
download the whole empathetic experience.
Or some kind of like hive mind, like we all just gonna go into like a Borg thing for a bit or something.
See, I want to come to a sense of understanding with another person on that level, and I'm always striving for that. But I've given up on the whole idea of them actually knowing, because you know,
Right.
there's no way. I'm a pretty good talker, but when you ask me to describe my anxieties or my fears or what's at the root of my depression, I'm just like I can't.
Right.
I don't. It's so hard to fucking vocalize. It's hard to conceptualize
Well, I mean-
enough to get out into one fucking coherent statement.
Think about all the people out there that just spend their entire lives refining ways to do that, between like artists and philosophers and whoever the fuck else.
Right.
You know, people use all these different means of trying to communicate their thoughts and ideas and their internal worldview to other people, and it's like there's so much there's so much is lost in translation. Words don't mean the same things to different people. You know, everyone has their own perspective that they're going to filter what you're saying through. So you don't have that unfettered, like, here it is.
Paul is full of excuses. If Stevie and TJ can start exercising, then so can Paul. What are you talking about? When did
He
I
said
make
he-
an excuse not to exercise?
Not only that, but haven't you been losing weight lately, Paul?
Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
been
Paul's-
eating better.
Paul's down like, I don't know. How many pounds you down,
Like
Paul? You look
40,
like you're 30 or 40
45.
pounds down.
I think 45 pounds for my heaviest.
Right. So you're doing
This
pretty.
last
He's
time.
doing pretty good right now. So fuck you.
I'm doing okay.
You know, like what? Let's scrutinize your fucking existence, bitch. You know.
It sucks.
Um,
But yeah, no, I kind of, you know the meme faces that people use, that Wojak shit?
yeah.
You've seen those?
Yeah.
I hate those,
Yeah.
but there's one that I like. It's the crying dude, but he's got a mask on that looks like he's all happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that one is like 98% of people. Now, that might be me projecting onto other people, but I just feel like that I wouldn't want to know what it's like to be any other human being. I can
Right.
barely deal with what it is to be me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to try. I would not want to step into that.
Yeah.
It's not even attractive to me.
I feel like maybe I'm wrong about this, but I kind of feel like the fact that they're that, you know, it would kind of be comforting in a way. 'Cause
Right.
it's like, oh, I'm that too. We're all that, you know?
Sure.
Like we could maybe find like, oh, you know, so you're suffering inside, I'm suffering inside. This seems to be, we can all kind of like, you know, form a little bond of
Yeah.
like, hey, everything's awful, awesome. you
That's
know?
like the hive mind thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just not ready for that, dude.
Maybe not. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
ready
Maybe
for
I'm
the
not
hive
either,
mind.
but I kind of want to know.
I don't want to know. I don't even want to know what I'm thinking half the time.
Yeah. I'm a very I'm a person who's kind of lost in their internal dialogue.
Oh,
a lot
me
of
too.
times, so
No, I do the same thing. As much as I don't want to, I spend so much time in my own fucking head, like a little hamster running on a wheel.
yeah, I'm definitely that same way. I don't really feel like I like want to be there though. Like if you try to tear me away from it, I'm kind of like no. Like when it's like, all right, you'd have to go to sleep now or something. It's like I don't want to. I want to keep thinking.
See, that's a key difference between the two of us.
Oh,
then.
yeah.
Because I feel like I spend most of my time trying desperately to escape it
Yeah,
because I'm in it all day.
Yeah.
If I let myself be, I wake up in it, and I have to fucking, like, that 20 minutes that it takes for me to be, like, human, that's because I'm in that, and I got to get out of that. And, like, coming and doing this today took a lot of fucking, like, all right, let's just fucking plow through this feeling of utter dread that's draped over everything, and you know what I mean? But it helps. Like, that's the one thing I've found that helps, is, like, forcing myself into some kind of escape.
I've found that too, is like, sometimes, like, I mean, I feel like 99% of the time, the dread of something is way worse than the something itself.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel that way about literally everything that I'm expected to do, whether it's like, you got to go to the store now. It's like, fuck.
Oh, me too.
You got to go.
I feel
like,
the same way.
It's like, you got to go check the mail. I feel like, fuck, I got to get up and check the fucking mail now.
I'm in the same boat.
I got to go take out the fucking garbage. Ugh, just shoot me, It's
Yeah.
like, but then you do it, and it's like, this isn't that bad. I just walk out to a garbage can and throw a fucking bag of trash in it.
Yeah, I know.
Why was it so awful in my mind? Like,
Everything gets built up.
Yeah, it's like, another fucking thing.
Yeah.
But then I look back at my day, and I'm like, I spent 90% of this day sitting on my ass. But it felt like it was just, it's just one thing after another.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm in the same fucking boat, if I'm honest. And, I'm doing what I got to do to get by and shit. But quite frankly, it's just like the background radiation of my life is anxiety. That's at the core of all of the problems that I have, is this fucking feeling of impending doom. And I think it creeps into everything that I do.
Yeah.
And in good ways sometimes. I mean, it's definitely tainted my philosophy, but I don't consider that to be a bad thing. I'm not a widely read philosophical student, but every philosopher I've ever read was horribly tainted by their own life experience.
I don't think that's can help it be.
Part and parcel of being a philosopher. I'm not saying I'm a philosopher. I'm just saying my personal philosophy is definitely tainted by the...
I kind of think of everyone, even like the stupidest motherfucker I've met, has some kind of basic philosophy. I don't know if that necessarily makes them a philosopher.
Right.
Everyone has...
Well, people
usually
get all...
it's
I think
just
anybody
a
that
series
wants...
of, like, justifications
Right.
for the way they are and all that shit.
I think that anybody that wants to call themselves... I'm a universalist when it comes to that shit. If you want to sit down and hash philosophically with people, I don't think you have to have read this book or that book or read this fucking person or that person. If you want to consider that's what philosophy is sitting down and engaging and learning from one another. And if you want to do that, then you're a philosopher. I don't... There's this guarded kind of like thing like, yo, you're trying to say you're Socrates. It's like, no. I'm just trying to say I'm somebody that has a philosophy and that I like discussing philosophy and comparing my philosophy against others and learning from other people's philosophy. That's all you really... Those are your credentials in my world, if you want to call yourself a philosopher. But
That's
I
how
try
I
and
feel,
avoid
but-
doing it because I hate the fucking argument.
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
I'm not trying to be pompous.
I mean, it's just like gatekeeping over a fucking word.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care. You want to... I'm going to think of myself this way. You don't have to think of me that way. You can think of me however you want.
Right.
You can use your words and your labels, and I'll use mine, and whatever. It doesn't matter.
But, for me, it's about taking a stand on something that's nebulous and defending it. You know what I mean? I see value in that, even if ultimately I'm wrong about a lot of things.
I mean, I think we probably all are. So, someone want to know if either of us is on medication for anxiety or depression.
No.
I'm not on. I mean, other than
I have been...
self-medicating with certain things.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, I mean, same with me. I'm not on any prescribed medication for anxiety or depression or anything like that. I've been on pretty much all of them over the course of my...
I've considered maybe trying to find some anti-anxiety. I guess I've taken some other people's anti-anxiety medication, and I guess it worked. But
yeah.
I don't really...
I don't like
know.
benzos.
I feel like I'm actually a big fan of benzos, but I feel like I don't know, my angst is kind of like part of me, so I don't know. I feel like I deal with it well enough, even though it is unpleasant a lot of the time.
That's always been one of the biggest problems that I've had with any kind of mental health medication, whether it be for anxiety or depression.
I feel like it robs you of some of your identity.
A little bit. Well, maybe not my identity, but my ability to express that identity in the way that I want to.
Right.
Like, I feel like there's a wet blanket thrown over my head creatively, and just my thought patterns are very slow and sluggish and hard to fucking flip through. I've been medicated a lot.
Well, you're a creative. I consider myself a creative. So I don't know. I feel like we kind of draw from that a lot of the time.
Well, you have to.
Yeah. So
So it sucks. It just kind of this feeling that we have feeds what we do. You know what I mean? So the struggle that we go through feeds everything that we do.
does anyone go to talk therapy? This is the closest thing for me.
Yeah, this is talk therapy. Yeah, this is the closest thing to talk therapy I've been to in a long time. I did spend years in talk therapy, and it just it's one of those things that like I found a person that I really connected with, and then he died, and now I don't want to do that again.
Do it.
I don't know that I can.
Yeah.
This dude just kind of fucking became. And maybe it was a bad thing in the end. I don't know, but he just kind of became the center for me, and like that kind of like need for somebody to go like this is the right thing to do in this situation.
Right. So you almost were using it like as a advisor too.
Yeah, and in sometimes like a crutch too, because it was divesting me of all the responsibility in my life. So I don't know if it was a good thing.
Chelsea's just letting us know that she thinks the sound quality is awesome. Well, we've done a lot to improve it, so.
Cool. Yeah, dude. We just installed new compressors on our rack down
I'll
here.
go ahead and show you guys what we got going on.
Yeah, you can point at it. Show them their Patron dollars at work.
If I can get to it.
Oh, you might not be able to reach it.
I don't think I can.
Well, we'll take some pictures.
I can't quite reach it, but yeah, we'll put some pictures up.
I'll show you guys the full rack and shit.
That's pretty impressive at this point. There's a lot of equipment. You guys, we're not wasting your guys' money all on drugs and hookers. So, does CBD actually help anxiety? I don't know. I guess who are you asking that to?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the answer is no. I mean, yeah, maybe a little bit, but the overall no. If you have a real problem with anxiety, I don't think you're going to find your answer in CBD. At least I didn't. Try it.
I mean, you never know what'll work for certain people.
Yeah, try it.
Yeah. So let's maybe turn our focus.
Yeah, let's
outward a little bit.
Let's lighten things up a little bit by going to some abandoned hope.
All right, let's do it. Trump warns of treason, civil war, GOP congressman outraged.
Okay.
Outraged.
So Trump is going to start a civil war now?
Yeah, President Donald Trump is warning that the Democrat-driven impeachment proceedings and any move to oust him from office amount to treason and would spark a civil war, prompting outrage from a Republican congressman. Ooh.
Outrage.
From a single congressman.
Man.
Trump tweeted a conservative pastor's comment that removing him would provoke a civil war-like fracture in America. Rep. Adam Kinzinger, a former Air Force pilot who represents an Illinois district Trump won in 2016, tweeted on Sunday, "I have visited nations ravaged by civil war. I have never imagined such a quote to be repeated by a president. This is beyond repugnant."
I mean, okay, look, I think this dude is just suffering from a little bit of why so serious syndrome. This is Trump. He says abhorrent lies and complete falsehoods every time he opens his mouth. That's part of what he does. Like, can you actually be moved to call something repugnant that comes out of his mouth at this point?
Yeah, it's like, where have you been, you know? So we're going to go to Dusty's Twitter. We're not here to make fun of Dusty, though. He just actually got a lot of these together.
He collected a lot of these tweets.
A lot of these tweets from MAGA people. So this is a lot of responses to this MAGA Awake account.
Okay.
What will you do if Congress impeaches Trump and shoves him out of office? Civil War II, immediately.
Oh
shit.
It's happening.
That's this guy here. NRA, MAGA, Trump, Pence 2020, happily married over 25 years. No porn, please. No dating inquiries, please. Yeah, I'm sure you were besieged.
The ladies are beating down his door.
To the point where he's like, stop, ladies.
Ladies, please.
I am spoken for. Love our president. Tired of snowflakes.
Damn.
What will you do? Yeah, so we know the question. That's a loaded question. Locked and loaded.
Oh, snap.
I will defend my country. My country.
My country.
Take up arms. So they asked him what would he do. He's like, I'll take up arms, bitch. That's what I'll do. Civil war, the patriots against the deep state. That's her profile. Who cares? She's a MAGA person. Me and my homies would have been stacking bodies by now. Defend the second.
Okay.
And there's George Washington with his AK or whatever the fuck it is. I hit the wrong button, lol. Take up arms. Already locked, loaded, and ready. Revolution 2020.
Oh my God, dude.
This person quoted Jefferson. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. It is its natural manure. Yeah, it's certainly manure.
Lest you think that this is some new thing, by the way.
It's not.
They did this when Obama was elected. They did this when Clinton was reelected and towards the end of Clinton's fucking term.
How would the logistics of a new civil war even fucking work? In this, like, it's not like geographic this time.
Own a bunch of guns, question mark, question mark, question mark, win the Civil War.
Right.
That's basically the plan at this point.
And, you know, I think that it's funny to me is that the guns thing, it's an advantage, I guess, but really the bigger advantage the red state kind of people would have, in my opinion, would be all the farmland they control.
Yeah.
Like, that would be probably more valuable even than the guns. They don't even seem to recognize that.
Well, there's no thought They have
but
no
the idea of
mechanism. There's no mechanism in the government right now talking like this. Other than, I guess, if you could make an argument for Trump retweeting this Civil War II thing. But I don't know that there are any state representatives that are going to fucking, file articles of confederation and shit and secede from the Union at this point. I don't hear that rhetoric out of anybody. So they have no popular support in the actual mechanisms of government, which means that the best that I think that they can hope for is like local skirmishes and shit where they lose.
Right.
Because
and basically
having a bunch of guns is not enough.
Yeah, and if you're gonna literally be like, we in this weird little enclave of people are gonna take up arms and have a revolution, then that's just terrorism at that point, right?
Yes.
So it's not gonna be viewed as a new civil war. It's gonna be viewed as we now have a bunch of right-wing terrorists in this country.
Well, this tyranny rhetoric, this patriots, blood of patriots and tyrants rhetoric has been around since I was young and first started listening to the political, shit. And it has completely not changed. And the only thing that I take comfort in is I know that it didn't start back in the 80s when I probably heard it for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And it hadn't happened yet. So they like to threaten this type of shit. This is kind of the end result of a lot of the gun collecting that goes on. There's this kind of common fantasy amongst...
that one day they're going to fucking...
I call them amosexuals. They all kind of have this common circle jerky masturbatory fantasy that they're at one day we're going to take up... But there's really no plan beyond that. Just what are you going to do? You're going to go on the street and shoot every cop you see? That sounds very fundamentally against your Republican principles. Because those are the guys that are going to come and fuck you up if you start shooting people. So what is your plan?
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like the plan ever goes much beyond like, we got guns.
That's what happened in the South, right? A bunch of people just went like, oh, we got guns now, and pointed them north, and the North was like, huh? What happened? They just left. Yeah, that's how it works. No. The very people that you guys support, the troops... and the police and the law enforcement agencies that you guys all love, who do you think is going to come to clean this up? Who do you think is going to be there when you pull your gun out?
I always, whenever I bring that up to them, it's always like, well, they're going to be on our side. It's like, really?
Yeah. So they're going to be on the side.
They're going to be the side on whoever's fucking cashing the damn paychecks for them, okay? They're not going to be on your side. They don't give a fuck about you.
No.
They don't give a fuck about you.
And it's been shown time
and
time again.
In fact, a lot of cops, even though cops tend to skew conservative, a lot of cops are actually pro-gun control because they're scared of guns. I mean, we just had a cop.
Why wouldn't they be?
We just had a cop around here that got shot.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And I've seen memorials for him and shit all over the place because obviously people, that cop, I mean, I don't know what his position was on guns. He's probably pro-gun, but...
Yeah, who knows?
A lot of people, though, a lot of cops are fucking anti-gun because they fucking, they're paranoid when they go to do a traffic stop or they go to do this or they go to raid someone's house or whatever they're fucking doing. They don't know who's armed in there. And what do you do when it gets to the point when, we already have drone strikes. I mean, it's not beyond the fucking, boundaries of imagination to think that the government would use drones on its own people.
They
if
won't
it
even
came
have
that
to.
point.
The government controls the supply lines.
Right.
That's when you're talking about a civil war, you're talking about war for territory on this continent. It's happened once before. And the government has control of all of the relevant industry and supply lines. That's it.
That's
you
why
just
the North
starve
won
these
the first
people out.
time.
Like if they'd managed to take a town or something and it's too dangerous to send in the army or you don't want to take the PR hit, you just wait them out.
I mean, and look, the last time there was a civil war, it was like this geographic region versus this other geographic region. So there was kind of a clear delineation of sides. This time there wouldn't be that.
No, it's just...
So it wouldn't even make fucking sense. You're not even going to know who your enemies are. You're not going to have any way to fucking... Like, any mass communication shit you can use to communicate your plans to one another are going to be monitored. So there's not going to be any way to actually strategically plan shit. You're not going to be able to fucking form a real cogent army.
No. It's just a fantasy. Like I said, it's a stroke fantasy for people that are really into guns. And I think the end result of a lot of the collecting of guns is this idea that if they hoard guns, they'll be ready for when it jumps off. And when it jumps off is whenever they want to stroke their dicks a little bit about whatever political situation is going on.
See, if I was on the conservative side of this fucking shit, I'd just go fucking get a bunch of fucking gun people in the heartland of fucking Kansas or some shit.
Right.
Or, whatever. Fucking secure all the farmland and be like, we're not shipping any more food to anywhere. We're going to keep it all for ourselves. And we're going to starve out the rest of the fucking country or something.
Well,
and the National Guard comes in and murders them all.
Right.
And then the farms are taken over by fucking the government on some emergency bullshit. And that's about all that is accomplished there.
I mean,
they don't even have that much of a plan.
I think getting it to that point is giving them a huge amount of fucking leeway. This doesn't even leave their porch. If these people start actively, openly planning sedition against the government, they're going to get knocks on their... Well, they won't get knocks. They're going to get raided before this ever even jumps off. They'll be arrested. They'll be caught when they're out and about. They'll get in shootouts with police, and they'll die one by one. That's as far as I see this going.
Maybe Russia will come to the aid of the pro-Trump army. Maybe.
Doubtful.
Excuse me. Let's take a look at some other stories. So you actually were just mentioning Candyman earlier, so...
Yeah. The first boogly monster.
Is Tony Todd returning as Candyman in Jordan Peele's reboot?
Oh.
Tony Todd is reportedly reprising his iconic role in Jordan Peele's Candyman sequel. Todd has not played the titular character since 1999's Candyman Day of the Dead. The news comes after it was revealed that production had officially started a little over a month ago in Chicago. Now, sources close to the project are stating that Todd will have a much bigger role in the sequel than originally thought. Aquaman's Yahya Abdul-Mateen II leads the cast in the upcoming sequel. Little is known about the upcoming Candyman sequel, which at one time was being described as a spiritual sequel. However, if the Tony Todd reports end up being confirmed, it looks like it may end up being more of a direct sequel when all is said and done. MGM has yet to make an official announcement on the subject, so we'll have to wait and see how they decide to treat the situation. So, Candyman, what do you think?
I mean, I don't know. Candyman's not the worst, but it ain't the best.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, the real thing that has a question mark hanging over it here for me is Jordan Peele. Get Out, awesome. Them or Us, sorry, Us. Terrible. I mean, just really bad. The Twilight Zone attempted reboot.
Ooh, that was real cringy.
Inducingly bad.
Yeah, that was really not great.
So Jordan Peele has talent, I think. He's got a lot to prove with this, and maybe he's... I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic that maybe we'll get something watchable out of this. But to be honest with you, the source material, Candyman, I think it's more important to, like... And I'm not trying to be racist here. I think it's an important film to black people. Because they really didn't have, like, a black antagonist. You know,
Right.
There was a lot of black horror fans out there that never saw themselves reflected on the screen as the antagonist in one of these movies.
Yeah, they were always just one of the killables, basically.
Right. They were always
usually an early to die
right.
killable.
First or second or third, you know? And so I think it's one of those movies, and it makes sense that Jordan Peele is directing that. He's kind of like the woke black horror director.
Right.
That's kind of his thing. So
maybe they'll do a more sympathetic Candyman.
In terms of like standing outside of that, whatever the cultural significance was for those people of seeing, having a slasher to call their own, which, whatever. I'm not trying to downplay that. It's not a great movie.
No.
It's not a super memorable movie. It's not the worst of the, like early 90s horror bucket list that kind of... Because, it started to die then. Towards the end of the 80s and going into the early 90s, horror started to take a dip. And for me, Candyman was kind of indicative of that.
What's Candyman about? Well, it's basically like one of those... I don't remember tremendously well the plot, but... Paul, do you remember?
Kinda. It's kind of like if you've ever heard the legend of Bloody Mary, right?
It's like it's one of these things where you say the name in the mirror and
then he comes.
Appears.
So it's like an urban legend or whatever the fuck type of movie where people invoke the name of Candyman in the mirror and he comes and he's got a whole tragic backstory and shit. Just like they kind of tried to rush the background that Freddy had because he's got a very Freddy-ish vibe to him in the way that he kills. He's got like a creative kind of likes to make people afraid.
The thing I remember from that movie was it was the first time I ever saw the I guess it wasn't the first time I ever saw it, but it was a pretty well done version of the whole like invisible killer kind of thing.
Yeah.
That people were watching like a surveillance camera and the person just starts getting ripped apart,
Oh, yeah, but you can't see him on the camera. There's some cool moments. Like I said, it's not the worst of the worst. It just doesn't resonate amongst, the slasher genre for me in the way that it probably would if I was a black dude.
Yeah, and I haven't, I watched it, I think, twice in my life, and I don't really remember it that well.
I watched it when I was a teenager, was disappointed by it then, and the last time I watched it, I was probably in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I just haven't really felt the need to go back to it, and don't think I'm wrong about that.
So this video is called Jeb Bush Fights Black Lives Matter.
I've seen this before.
Yeah, he's gonna punch this chick.
Let's see.
You shouldn't do it. By the way, okay, you asked for it. All right, come on. Let's get more.
Dude, just get off of me.
No, why? You're just struggling.
Come on.
Hey. She's biting me.
I know. Don't.
Well, she's biting me.
You just assaulted me.
No, I didn't. Yeah, you're a little girl who just bit me. I go to the hospital.
Are the cops on there?
Whoa.
So
that's not actually Jeb Bush.
It's not actually Jeb Bush. But it looks a lot like him. So
and dude, he socked her like 3 times really hard.
Someone basically submitted that to us and was like, "Hey, check it out! It's fucking Jeb Bush beating some BLM person." And I hate to break it to that person, but that is not actually Jeb Bush. I looked into it. I'm like, I think I would have heard of this.
I saw that a long time. I saw that during the last campaign. Somebody posted that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Probably would have helped Jeb Bush with the Republican base if he had punched a BLM person.
Yeah, that definitely would have probably moved him up a few points in the polls.
Oh, who's fucking low energy now?
Did you pull anything about the possible Hillary? There's some Hillary buzz going on.
Yeah, I might have that somewhere. I think I do.
Oh,
I don't know.
Well, we'll get to it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to it eventually. Let's take a look at a video. This is David Pakman bitching about people unsubscribing to his channel for what he perceives as a stupid reason. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see if
we agree.
See if we agree with him or what. Now, I'm not a David Pakman fan, but I don't really have a problem with him. You said do you have a problem with David Pakman?
I don't hate him, but I don't turn to him for my news.
I kind of am in the same boat. But I don't really have a problem with the guy, and he's brought me on his show, and he's been nice. So whatever.
I think he's more correct than some of the pundits out there. So you can give him.
So
that.
I hate to start the show with something so depressing and negative today, but I do want to tell you about something unfortunate that's gone on over the last couple of days.
I don't think. Do we really need a picture of you for reference? Like, this is a picture of me.
I'm standing next to a picture of me while talking about a picture of me.
we've been covering polling in the 2020 Democratic primary basically since the beginning of 2019, once the primary got going in earnest with multiple candidates, and particularly as more serious candidates got involved. We've been following what the polling has said. Okay. And there's this really horrible trend of when people in my audience don't like the poll results, they unsubscribe from my YouTube channel. And I know that...
All right, so here's what happened there, buddy. If that's true, then those people are idiots, and why would you want them as subscribers?
Right.
Anyway?
You've gained you have a net gain in the
shouldn't
intelligence level of your subscriber base.
Don't view that as your don't view that as your subscriber count going down. View that as your subscriber quality going up.
Well, see, but this is a different meaning for him though, too,
right?
Because he's probably still monetized for most of the shit that he does.
I think he's having trouble in that regard.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Did you see that list, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
The list of demonetized words.
Some of the stuff that's on there, I'm just like, it's head scratching.
Yeah, it's like Kentucky and like Venezuela, just
Brazil.
like names of places.
The word contains.
Yeah.
What? It's like, how the fuck is anyone supposed to navigate this shit?
It's just fucking that alphabet AI mind trying to come up with keywords that end up in videos they don't like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. It's crazy. For those of you who don't know, we're talking about a list. Someone did some testing to see what words will get you demonetized, and the results are just absurd. I retweeted it. You can check on my Twitter for it.
That it is sort of hard to believe, but as an example, on Wednesday, I did a story about...
It's not hard to believe at all, by the way.
There are more and more polls
No,
in which Elizabeth Warren is solidly in second place over Bernie Sanders. There are still polls in which Bernie's in second place, but there are more and more polls in which Bernie's in second place and often building a lead over Bernie Sanders. Now, I gave the disclaimer
I think you
that
misspoke there a little bit.
a lot of people emailed me and said, David, that disclaimer was unnecessary, stupid, and obvious, where I said, I didn't do the polls. I'm not placing a value judgment on whether these are good or bad results for any particular contingent of the Democratic primary electorate. I'm merely reporting to you what the polls say. And a lot of people said, David, why are you even saying that? Like, of course, you're just the messenger here. And yet, the clip from Wednesday in which I said Elizabeth Warren has mathematically provable momentum and is beating Bernie in some polls, not my opinion, it's what the polls say, was...
People, this is kind of like another like one of these like post-truth world kind of things.
Yeah.
Where people believe polls that confirm their bias, and every poll that doesn't is obviously some kind of fucking lie, you know?
You're right. This is part of my problem with the political process, is that it seems to engender in some people a profound amount of just nonsensical tribalistic stupidity, where they want to hear what they want to hear from their personalities, and when a personality gives, even in an instance like this, where he's just kind of dryly reading poll numbers on polls that he didn't do, that he links to, somebody, like a lot of somebody's, obviously, if he's making this video, have linked that in their mind with whether or not he's a worthy source to be subscribed to. Which I swear to God,
information I don't like.
It flows.
Fuck him.
It flows directly from this stupid us versus them political system that we've got. It's the low information voter. You know what I mean? They get talked about from time to time.
This goes beyond the low information voter. This is like the information averse voter.
Right.
This is the voter who goes out of their way to remain fucking ignorant of what's going on.
They live in a happy little world where Bernie is going to win no matter what, and any fucking information that might tarnish that fantasy, I'm out of here. I don't even want to hear it. It's just like, what value is a system that churns out people like that? And I guess to David Pakman, if indeed you are having trouble monetizing, what value is it to you as a political speaker to have people like that watching you?
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know who fits that type of mold way better? Dudes on the right, like Crowder. Crowder's one of those dudes that's willing to give people exactly what they want over and over and over again and never fucking deviate.
Yeah, I mean, like, if there was a poll that's, I mean, like, I don't know if Crowder has talked at all about polls that show Trump losing to various Democratic candidates, you know, because in his world, those don't exist. And if they do exist, he would only talk about them to say that they're bullshit and that they're all the methodology
Right.
is flawed, and they did this and they did that and they did the other thing, and it's just bullshit poll. And some polls are bullshit
For
in
a
fairness,
lot of
but-
people, there is no room for nuance in their politics. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the actual truth. They want to just ride the momentum wave of belief.
I just wish that I saw more consistency from people in how they interpret fucking polling data, because
Well, good luck.
I just hate this shit where it's like, okay, if you want to be a person that says polls are bullshit, here's why. Okay, that's you. If you want to be a person that says, I think that most of these polls are pretty accurate and are a proper reflection of reality, maybe within these limitations or whatever, that's fine. But it seems to me like there's these people who they want to cherry pick polls. If a poll shows what they want, then, that's a good poll. If a poll doesn't show what they want, shit poll.
Don't even show it.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
So that's what these people are demanding from David Pakman.
Right. They want
Only
him-
cover the pro-Bernie polls.
It's basically like, hey, if you're not intellectually dishonest to us, then we're gonna fucking unsubscribe. And you know what? If someone gives me that ultimatum, I'm gonna be like, see ya, bye.
But think about those people as a basis for participation in the political process.
Right.
And the power that their vote has collectively on both sides. Mm-hmm. That's fucking insanely scary.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just think of the Trump quote where he's just like, I love the poorly educated. Of course you do. It's the easiest fucking vote to get. All you got to do is fucking blow smoke up their ass.
There's an element of this, I think, in anybody that talks about any kind of politics or philosophy or modern problems at all. There's going to be an element of people that wander along and just want to, like, put words in your mouth. They want to hear from you what they want to hear from you. And if you deviate from it,
I think it's a lot of people. It's an awful lot.
yeah. I mean, there's a strong drumbeat of it constantly in pretty much everything I've ever done.
Yeah.
Like in terms of this public stuff.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. 1,050%.
And it's like, for me, I would rather disagree. And this isn't even, you're not even disagreeing with David Pakman. You're just disagreeing with the reality that a poll was done and shutting yourself. Like, what I'm talking about is a whole different layer.
Oh, yeah. I think we got this, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we need any more information.
No.
I've rendered my verdict on it.
Yeah, you're better off, David Pakman.
Yeah, so David, I wouldn't let that get me down.
Looks like some of them are
iota.
lingering. Look at the 245 people that disliked the video.
Yep, they're like, meh. At least they're still there, I guess. If that's valuable to you.
Right.
Yeah, so that's that, I guess. So here's Hunter Avallone.
Oh, God.
Bernie Sanders is an idiot.
Okay. Let's see.
So we're going to hear about this now.
Bernie Sanders is an idiot. He's a deadbeat hypocrite who feeds on the entitlement of our generation. I know just that statement alone will anger the neckbeards.
I'm not. Do I look angry? I don't feel angry
I don't
yet.
think anything this dude says could anger me on any level.
Why is that?
Because he looks like he's just fresh from fucking, like, second period math at the local high school.
And result in a bunch of angry comments from people who unironically dye their hair and wave the communist flag. But
Yeah, I got to get that hair dye jab in there. Communism!
Maybe I'm just untriggerable at this point, but do people really fucking get mad at this dork? Okay, well, let's hear. Let's see if he can make me
But
mad.
honestly, that's okay. People can be mad at me for criticizing the socialist grandpa.
Man,
because
you really
Bernie
want people to be mad at you, don't you? You've mentioned how mad everybody's going to be like 3 times throughout this weak-ass fucking thin
20
gruel that
23
you're going to...
seconds.
Yeah. You
Everyone
really
be mad.
You're
This is gonna piss
really,
people
really
off.
dependent on people being mad at this stupid fucking shit.
Let me tell you something. Getting people mad in this day and age, that's nothing.
Oh my God.
I mean,
It's
like,
the easiest
you don't
thing
even
in
have
the world.
to fucking try. So, like, what?
Yeah. You got
like, you
nothing
don't-
to crow about, buddy.
If you're-
Chauncey over here has gotten people mad, and he's
Yeah.
never said anything.
If you're a living human being with any opinion on any subject, then
You've
yes,
got somebody mad.
Somebody's mad.
Somebody is
Okay?
super mad at you for that opinion. So yeah, this like I make people mad fucking thing. That was kind of that had some validity maybe back in the day, dude. But now everything you say makes people mad.
So who cares?
Sanders' proposals are laughably wrong and do not hold up under scrutiny.
Okay.
Even more so, he's a hypocrite who's benefited off the capitalist system he vows to destroy.
What
So, ladies-
choice does he have? I love this argument when it comes to people that are socialists, but trying to, enact some socialist swing in a government.
Right.
Well, you're benefiting from the fucking government as it is right now. It's like, what choice does Bernie Sanders have? If Bernie Sanders was
He has
a
about
hermit,
as much choice as this guy has for when he drives on taxpayer-funded roads or some shit.
yeah, what are you asking for? Are you asking him to be the living man and just go live off the fucking land somewhere? And then, how would you hear his fucking political points?
Not only that,
How would he
but,
ever run for president?
I think it's tremendous exaggeration to say that Bernie Sanders is trying to destroy capitalism.
I mean,
He's
He's
basically trying to get us to Denmark. I mean, that's not destroying capitalism.
not by a long shot.
That's a mixed market sort of fucking philosophy where capitalism is basically footing the bill for some social programs.
Which already takes place in this country.
We
by the
already
way.
have that to an extent.
Right.
It's just like
Social Security.
let's increase the extent of that. I mean, we already have somewhat of a social safety net. I mean, it's kind of
Right.
pitiful compared to a lot of countries, and that's kind of the point. But to say he's trying to destroy capitalism, I mean, he's maybe taking, he wants to constrain it a little more and increase the social safety net. That's hardly destroying capitalism.
I don't even really think he's constraining it. I mean, I think this apoplectic fit that people have anytime somebody talks about appropriating some of the mass amounts of wealth that this country generates for the health and well-being of their citizens, I don't even buy it anymore. Dude, enacting Bernie's plan tomorrow would have absolutely zero fucking effect on all of these capitalistic entities' bottom lines that are doing business today. Zero. They would go right on trucking, right on cashing those fucking $1 trillion tax-free checks.
Yeah.
So I don't buy it for a fucking second. It's just this, people go into a fit if you even insinuate that some of the fucking immense wealth that this country generates should be set aside for fucking making sure that our roads are drivable and that nobody dies of the common cold.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab your rationed popcorn, step out of the bread line, and listen up.
Okay.
Because today, I'm explaining why Bernie Sanders is a total idiot.
Cool.
But first, thank you to Dashlane for
All right.
Bernie Sanders, an idiot, brought to you by Dashlane. Gotcha. Okay. When does that end?
They really want you to get everybody mad too,
and
right?
offers a bunch of
Wow,
other
it's still
online.
going, huh? Okay.
Let's dive into this.
Okay.
I think you think I'm being overreactive here.
Bernie Sanders was born on September 8th, 1941 in New York.
That's
Growing
a
up
picture
in
of him
Brooklyn,
at birth
he
right
witnessed
there.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders, why? If you're talking about his birth, couldn't you find we found pictures of Bernie Sanders as a baby.
Yeah. I think that's just his picture from the government website.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's his standard I'm Bernie Sanders from Vermont picture.
Right. So I don't know. Could have found a better picture.
firsthand his lower middle class parents struggle financially. He went to Brooklyn College, later earning a
Once again, as an old man, he did all this.
Yeah.
Come
What is
on.
this?
You couldn't find pictures of him that are age appropriate for the time periods you're talking about?
bachelor's degree in political science from the University of Chicago in 1964. Sanders later moved to Vermont, where he worked as a union carpenter and a freelance journalist. He was active.
Sounds
so why
sounds
is he
like
an
idiot
idiot?
so far.
Yeah.
Okay,
What's
so
idiotic
he
about this?
struggled his way up from being from a poor family.
Right.
Graduated from college with a fucking what do you say, a bachelor's in political science.
Yeah.
And then he moved to Vermont and became a union carpenter and what else
A
was it?
freelance journalist.
Right. So
Wow.
doesn't really sound like the
sounds like the-
credentials of an idiot so far.
Yeah, it sounds like the American nightmare right there.
Yeah, I mean, what a fucking piece of shit.
In the anti-Vietnam War movement, which led him towards a life in politics. He made multiple bids for governor of Vermont in 1972, 1976, and 1986, failing each time. He also ran for the U.S. Senate in 1972 and 1974. Finally, in 1990, Bernie Sanders was elected to the House of Representatives. At this point,
Kind of skipped the part where he was mayor of Burlington, but okay.
Sanders was open about being a democratic socialist, and he caucused with the Democrats. In 2006, Sanders ran for U.S. Senate again and won. And finally, in
This is the
2015,
shittiest Bernie
he
Sanders
entered the
history lesson ever. Get to the part where you explain why this man is an idiot, or shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
mean,
he did piss me off. He got there.
There you go.
He got there.
You triggered Paul. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Hunter. You've done the impossible.
It's hard. It's so hard.
It's so hard to set me off, man.
Paul's usually very stoic, very calm,
Very
but
easygoing
you
guy.
managed to get under Paul's skin, and that's few people have ever done that.
All you had to do was just insipidly babble shit I already know at me for a few minutes.
For
Man.
the presidential election.
Yeah, man, it's good stuff. Oh shit, we're missing kind of the top part there. Oops. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, fuck it. Who cares?
Oh, I could probably move it down a little. Let's see. That'd probably be better.
Yeah, hide the progress bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's usually not anything too valuable on that part of the screen.
He lost the nomination to Hillary Clinton, who
And we
later
get to
lost
see more of
Trump.
Hunter
Just wanna
Avalon's
remind
hair,
everyone.
too.
And
Awesome.
finally, in 2019, Bernie Sanders is running for president once again.
I think you think I'm being overreactive here.
Bernie Sanders is loud and proud about being a democratic socialist.
So we're 4 minutes in to your 15-minute video, and I don't think you've made a point yet.
Yeah, all you've done is shill some stupid
So,
company
you
and talk
yeah.
about how you're going to trigger people and give us the most fucking boring, lamest edited history of Bernie Sanders, omitted huge parts of his political history.
Yeah, and not only that, but nothing you said made him. I mean, like, if this is a hit piece, that's not really a great way to start.
Right.
He worked his way up from
Sounds
a
like the
fucking
makings
poor
of a
family
moron.
into a fucking senator.
Right.
Idiot. He's an idiot. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like regardless of your political philosophy, if you can get from
Meager beginnings.
yeah, from like I'm a poor kid in a poor neighborhood with some poor parents, and now I'm a fucking United States senator. I don't buy the idea that you're an idiot at that point. I just don't do it.
No.
I wouldn't buy it for any conservative politician, even if I hated their guts.
That's because I've met an idiot.
yeah,
Like, I know what idiots get up to, and it ain't.
If you wanna
it
give
has
me-
nothing to do with running for office for anything.
it's like you want to tell me about an idiot's life. It'd be like he was born into poverty, he stayed in poverty,
Yeah.
now he's addicted to meth,
Now,
and,
now he plays Fortnite and lives with his mom at 33.
and
Yeah.
died of his teeth have all rotten out from drinking too much Mountain Dew Baja Blast from Taco Bell.
I mean, yeah, that's what an idiot gets up to. You're not painting the picture of an idiot here.
So much so, he's even claimed his brand of socialism is a pathway to beating Trump. On top of his open support for socialist policies, he's also very vocal about his disdain for the rich. In 2015, Sanders tweeted about the income gap.
How could we have
between the very
disdain for the
and
rich,
the very
man? Who would be justified in having disdain for the fucking wonderful rich of this country, man? Constantly engaged in the process of fleecing everybody below them on the economic ladder to their own benefit and hoarding that mass amount of money, and then crying foul anytime somebody wants to take a sliver of it in the form of taxes to make sure we all don't starve to death while we're working in their factories. How could anybody have any negative feelings about the rich in this country? You know what, Hunter? You've sold me. He is an idiot.
very poor, being the widest since the 1920s, when Sanders was almost a teenager. Sanders tries very hard to paint himself as the champion of
Was
the
that
middle class.
a thinly veiled old guy jab?
It wasn't that thinly veiled, but yeah.
Damn. Well, far be it from me to criticize people for making that jab, but I think there's a little substance to my age criticism of Bernie. Just going like, oh yeah, he's an old guy. He's an old man.
He's old.
Got it. Well, that definitely proves he's an idiot. There's never been any wise old men.
class. The guy who cares about the poor. Like a modern day Robin Hood, he loves this moral approach, tweeting, "We are living in a nation which worships wealth rather than caring for the poor. I don't think that this is the nation we should be living in." That sounds nice and all, but it's pretty damn rich coming from Bernie Sanders.
Why does it look like Hunter Avalon is recording this in a house he's about to show to a married couple? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty Spartan.
Like, what's going on? Did he just move or something? Because,
Maybe.
like, Jesus, man, there's not a sign of life in this place.
Loud and proud socialist who's benefited off capitalism, amassing a $2.5 million fortune. Ironically
Ooh, $2.5 million.
Wow. That's impressive.
I can't believe it.
enough, a large part of his wealth came from his 2016 book about socialism. Not
Okay.
Like what is that? It's a
So
new
wait.
editing technique. Have you ever heard?
Yeah, I
I've
don't
heard
like
it.
it. I
It
don't
just-
like it. So wait a minute. So he's amassed this $2.5 million fortune, but $1 million of it is just from 2016 when he put out a book.
Yeah, that doesn't seem.
So who cares?
I don't know, dude.
I mean, Bernie Sanders.
What's the criticism here? Once again, what is the criticism?
Okay, the criticism is Bernie Sanders wants to destroy capitalism, which is false.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, he can't participate in capitalism.
Which is also false.
So it's just dumb all around.
Wow. I'm starting to think we might be looking at the idiot.
Not only has Bernie amassed a fortune after spouting socialist rhetoric, he also owns 3 homes, his latest being a lakefront home worth nearly $600,000.
Oh my God. This criticism comes up every political. Yes, we know. We know that everybody that gets to the point where Bernie is in politics is rich as fuck. There's no way to untangle that. You know who else is going to be rich in about 5 or 10 years? AOC. She's going to be drowning in it. She's going to have more money. She's going to write book after book after book after book and make millions and millions and millions of dollars. This is not a criticism. We have a political system right now where rich equals able to fucking move forward politically. Period. This is a criticism of every politician. It's a criticism
I feel
of
like
Bernie.
it's a pretty modest fucking quote unquote fortune at this point. I mean, like
Depends on who you are.
Compared to other senators, I think he's one of the poorest fucking senators. Maybe that's changed now that he wrote that book in 2016, which I bought a copy, so I contributed some of that.
Well,
What do billionaires need? How many cars do they need? Give us a break. You can't have it all. Yeah, Bernie. And how many houses do you
So let's just think about how far Bernie is. If you say he has a personal fortune of $2.5 million,
yeah. How far from
how
a
far from
billionaire
a billionaire is that? Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking far from being a fucking billionaire.
Right.
That's a tiny little sliver of the amount of money a billionaire has. Not only that, but I mean, if Bernie enacted his policies, he's not like going to exempt himself from them. He's still, from his $1 million, he's going to pay whatever the tax rate is
Right.
from that million, right?
You would
So-
imagine, unless he figures out, a way to dodge all taxes like the rest of the fucking ultra billionaires have.
need? Stop pretending to be the poor man's Santa Claus. You're just making a fool of yourself. Vanity Fair says, Bernie Sanders now has one thing in common with the millionaires and billionaires and other 1%ers he so frequently attacked on the campaign trail. He now owns his very own summer home. Sanders was
Scandalous.
Wow, I can't believe that's true.
Scandal. So, I support all of Bernie Sanders' policies and shit. And if I had enough money to buy a summer home, I'd totally fucking have one.
Damn. You're a hypocrite, TJ.
I mean, maybe I am.
Hunter Avallone built that built that house that you're looking at.
Well, he's all he was going to say to that is, well, I'm not anti-capitalist. So,
Oh yeah, right. I can benefit.
so
from my
doesn't it
capitalism.
suck to be a
Right.
capitalist like you and to be have a socialist like Bernie Sanders have more money than you?
That must suck.
It must suck that the guy who's trying to quote unquote destroy capitalism is actually better at it than you are, huh? That must kind of be a fucking blow.
And smarter than you on his worst day too.
was born to an immigrant, struggled financially at the bottom for most of his life, and made it nearly to the top. It's really quite incredible.
Right, which once again kind of demonstrates that your idea of him being an idiot is false. Right.
Because Sanders is a direct result of the capitalist system he
Okay, if he's a direct result, he's a direct result of his own ambition and intelligence and ingenuity. A direct result of the capitalist system would be what happens to the majority of people in life. Not, Bernie Sanders' story is not the typical result of life in the capitalist system.
Right. Most people don't escape those meager upbringings.
Right, or if they do, it's to a marginal extent, not to this not to the tune of $2.5 million. He got there because he's actually an exceptional person.
Yeah. There would be 2 million governors of fucking Vermont.
Right.
Or senators from fucking
Right.
Vermont.
And, every person who was born poor in this country, or at least the vast majority of them, we would expect to see them die with millions of dollars in their bank accounts, and that's not how things go. Most people die in shitty nursing homes, shitting themselves and not knowing where they are. You know, and most people are not fucking. Most people who are born poor are probably going to die poor. Most people who are born quote unquote middle class, whatever that means anymore, are going to probably die that, or they're going to die poor. You know, the upward mobility in this country statistically is not great. So I don't know how you can even fucking honestly say this is like results typical in a fucking capitalist system. It's not. That's not the typical result of capitalism. Just because Bernie Sanders was, had that in life, I know this is kind of difficult for like the conservative mindset, but like, look at other people. You know what I mean? Like, don't just isolate one example of somebody and be like, yeah. Look at like the big picture. Look at what what happens to the vast majority of people in our system.
Right.
Look at the amount of, even just listen to the statistics that Bernie Sanders cites. He's not talking about, I had this good fucking path through life and I'm a senator and obviously Bernie Sanders is successful. He's running for fucking president.
Everybody that's
He's a
on that
United
stage
States senator.
is successful.
He's obviously a successful person. You're not telling us anything.
Certainly not painting the picture of an idiot.
So, but he's talking about all of the people who are left behind by the systems, all the people who are fucking in massive debt from student loans, all the people who are in massive debt from medical emergencies that they couldn't pay for, all the people who are living below the poverty line, all the people whose incomes haven't gone up, all the people who are unemployed or underemployed. There's so many people who have hard luck stories in this country. And you know what?
Well, they should pull themselves up by their bootstraps, TJ.
The irony is a lot of them are fucking, are Republicans who are like, yeah, Trump, who doesn't want to do shit for them, who can't even find his way through a fucking sentence. So I don't understand.
I don't know.
Seems like there's a lot of fucking, I'm not fucking jiving with whatever worldview you're peddling here.
Yeah.
Vigorously works against. According to Boston-based Democratic strategist Mary Ann Marsh, Sanders became the very thing he criticized others for becoming, and at the same time didn't fix any of the problems he's been railing about that got him to this point. Bernie Sanders,
he was
socialist
one senator, a super left-leaning senator that wasn't even a Democrat. He caucused with the Democrats. He was farther left than everybody else in the fucking Senate. How is he supposed to is he a one-man army in the Senate? Does everything he proclaims become immediate law in the Senate? What do you think he's trying to do with this presidential campaign?
Yeah, that's kind of silly.
What a stupid critique.
Lunatic who hates the rich has become the very thing he's sworn to destroy. He's a railing hypocrite.
When did Bernie swear to destroy rich people? I talked about it at the beginning of this fucking rant. If in a perfect world Bernie Sanders was elected president and snapped his fingers and all his policies were made fucking law overnight and all the enforcement agencies were put into place and it all just happened.
Elon Musk is going to be in the bread line the next day.
He's going to be sitting out in front of a fucking Starbucks in Santa Barbara somewhere with a tin cup in his hand going, oh shit, man, I'm a victim of the billionaire crisis. Fuck no. He's still going to be cashing fat fucking checks along with every other rich fuck that you're sitting here sucking the dick of. It's just absurd. When has he ever done anything tantamount to avowing the destruction of capitalism? Because if he has, I want to hear that clip because I might vote for him.
College students who Sanders desperately tries to appeal to call him a hypocrite after learning about his wealth. Bernie's hypocrisy was revealed once again when his unionized campaign revolted against him. One of Bernie Sanders' biggest promises
he's going to trot out this lie, huh? All right.
Yeah.
is a $15 minimum wage. Now, of course, this is ridiculous for a lot of reasons.
No, it's not.
One of them being, if you raise the minimum wage, companies will be forced to either cut hours or raise prices.
No, that's not true.
That's actually not true.
There have actually been states that have raised the minimum wage, and we haven't seen those results. Actually, I'll be honest, you do see a short-term drop in employment, but long-term, the results are nil.
Right. And it's about moving the standard forward to be commensurate with fucking inflation. We already have an established federal standard for the minimum wage. So this is not
$7.25.
right. This is not about like taking McDonald's and giving 98% of their profits back to the people that work for them.
I think they said that to raise the McDonald's workers' wage to $15 an hour, they'd have to like raise the price of a Big Mac like 5 to 10 cents, depending on the calculation. So
Which your average person going to fucking McDonald's is probably not even going to notice
the fucking difference. So that's bullshit. Oh, anyway, the thing he's about to... I'll let him do it.
essentially making this higher minimum wage useless. Bernie Boy learned this the hard way when his unionized campaign revolted over only being paid $13 an hour.
Lie. Lie, 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 lie. No, his campaign workers were paid on salary. All right? They were receiving a salary. And their salary was commensurate with $15 an hour. But certain people in his campaign were working more hours than they were contracted to work. People were working 50 and 60-hour work weeks.
Right.
So that put them at a lower wage. So the Sanders campaign's like, well, we never asked you to do that. So we're going to make sure you only work 40 hours a week. And then you will be paid commensurate with $15 an hour as your fucking wage. And this is for low-level campaign employees. And by the way, Bernie Sanders, low-level campaign managers and shit, are paid the highest salary of any of the fucking people running.
Right.
No other fucking campaign is paying their people as well as the Bernie Sanders campaign. So it's total bullshit what you're saying. It's an absolute lie. And it's just a total right-wing smear that has no fucking basis in reality whatsoever.
Bernie Sanders is an idiot, though.
So to try and mend this dispute, Sanders announced that he would, wait for it, cut hours so he could pay his staff $15 an hour.
As
No,
TJ just explained,
he didn't cut
overtime hours.
They were working overtime, but not, I mean, they were working beyond the contracted amount of hours they were supposed to work because it's a tough fucking job. And obviously people get pretty passionate about their politics. So people worked longer than what their salaries reflected.
Right.
So
And so he instituted a rule.
So he said, no, you don't stop doing that.
Right.
Perfectly fucking reasonable response. You know, so once again, total deception on your part, but okay.
This has been our point from the beginning as to why $15 minimum wage will not work. This hilarious blunder was later resolved.
I mean, I gotta say, I don't agree with his fucking points on this, but I do agree that a $15 minimum wage will not work. It'll help to alleviate some of the problems faced by people on the lower end of the economic scale.
You're coming from the position of a full-on anti-capitalist, though.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying this is not enough. This is what you're arguing so vociferously against here is such a half measure. It's not even worth mentioning. This is not going to even begin to alleviate the problems that poverty faces.
Right.
Not even begin. It's just a step to try and alleviate a little bit of the suffering going on at the bottom end of the economic ladder.
And look how he reacts to it.
Right.
He acts like it's the most fucking crazy, starry-eyed socialist ideal in the fucking world. Meanwhile, how much did you get paid for that fucking promotion at the beginning of your video?
Right, of course.
Did they pay you $15 an hour to do that? Kind of feel like it probably paid you more.
It's worse. When the Sanders campaign offered to raise salaries to that level, the union rejected the offer. Why, you might ask? Because the raise would have elevated field staff to a pay level responsible for paying more of their own healthcare costs. It
Man, if only we had some kind of system in place where they didn't have to pay for their own medical costs.
Yeah, that'd be crazy, wouldn't it?
Huh.
It'd be so weird if there was like some kind of a way to make sure that nobody had to worry about their medical costs.
It'd be crazy if there was some way you could make it where employers aren't even responsible for that.
Right. So we don't have to leave it up to the capitalistic drive to constantly slash benefits and just like establish a baseline standard for everybody that's born here.
Maybe someone will come up with an idea.
Yeah.
turns out that Sanders pays only 85% of healthcare premiums for campaign staff, making more than $36,000.
Oh, only 85%. Okay.
Got it.
Despite campaigning on a promise of free healthcare for all, with no premiums, no deductibles, no copay.
Right.
What
It
is
turns
he
out
supposed
that-
to do? Is Bernie
Right.
Sanders supposed to institute Medicare for all for his own staff? Like, all right, I haven't passed the bill yet,
Right.
but I'm going to roll it out early just to you guys for helping me out.
Yeah. No, a lot of people don't realize this, but campaign promises don't equal fucking actual laws that are passed. So this is another silly fucking excuse for and once again, Let's say that this is true. Let's go with his narrative version of this. Does that make him stupid? We're now what looks like halfway through this video, and I've yet to see any evidence that Bernie Sanders is stupid, even if he is the fucking mustachio-twirling villain that you're painting him out to be here, and cutting hours while profiting off of the very system he swears to his loyal followers to destroy. Isn't that a pretty smart guy? To manipulate that many fucking people and rise as high as he has on a balloon of bullshit as you portray it? So where's this idiot coming in?
Oh, he's there.
Payments
Well,
and
soon.
no
Soon it's
out-of-pocket
coming.
expenses. So it looks to me like Bernie Sanders is not only a hypocritical wealthy socialist, but he can hardly make his own campaign promises come true for his staff. So I have to ask, how on earth does Bernie Boy
So let me ask you this then. So when Trump had his campaign staff, did he have to like build a wall just for them because he promised that on
Right.
the campaign trail?
Yeah.
Like, what does that? That doesn't make sense. Your campaign promises are promises to the American people after you get elected, not promises to your campaign staff in the then and now. Like, that doesn't even make fucking sense. What are you talking about? I mean, Jesus.
This kid.
plan on making this crap a reality for the entire country?
I think you think I'm being overreactive here.
Bernie Sanders
So, I don't know. Why do you keep playing that clip?
I know. That drop that he's using, he really thinks that's proof that this dude's a total blithering moron.
He misspoke one time for a second.
And then immediately corrected himself.
I'm sure you've never had any sort of problem speaking ever.
No, nor does anybody with your political views ever mush mouth.
Oh, yeah. Trump, you listen to him.
Makes perfect,
Say
glowing,
magnifique.
sane sense every
The
time.
eloquence that that guy spits out of his mouth every time he talks, it's just like, wow.
Yeah, definitely not an idiot.
He might be the president, but he has the heart of a poet. What?
makes a lot of promises that sound wonderful and really appeal to the entitlement of our youth. But when scrutinized, they simply fall apart. Aside from his stance on
They simply fall apart, just like all the countries that have already instituted his promises have fallen apart.
Yeah.
Denmark, Sweden, Norway, just fucking smoldering
Bursting at the
hellholes.
seams. Yeah. Just absolutely unlivable fucking dystopian hellholes. Bread lines a go-go. You know what I mean? Just all this fucking shit that you're talking about.
I love how why do these conservatives always argue this shit like it's hypothetical when we have actual real world models we can look at?
You want the answer to that?
Yeah.
Because most of the people that fucking listen to these people don't know that.
Yeah.
They're not worldly enough to know that there are fucking systems exactly like what's being proposed in action all over the fucking planet with very fucking, beneficial results to the people that live in those places.
on healthcare being a human right, which we all know is completely false, Sanders has also admitted that he wants to
We all know it's completely false?
Why?
Why do we know that? Can you explain to me why we know that? I don't know that. It occurs to me that a right is anything we decide a right is, right?
Right. Well, what did the founders say? I'm sure this guy sucks the founders' dicks, right? They said that, everybody had a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, how much liberty do you have when you're under the yoke of fucking crushing medical debt? How much
life do you have when you die of preventable disease because
Right.
you can't afford a doctor?
And how much can you pursue happiness when you're sitting fucking dying of cancer in some shit low-end fucking hospital, not receiving the care you need because you don't have insurance?
provide healthcare for illegal immigrants.
We are going to end that and
Gasp.
create a Medicare for all healthcare system.
Senator, would you include the 11 million undocumented immigrants in that?
Absolutely. When I talk about healthcare being a human right, last time I heard that undocumented people are human beings as well.
Oh my
There are
God,
so-
what a disgusting...
Wait a minute. You're going to fucking... Bernie Sanders just said Mexicans are humans?
Yeah,
What the
undocumented
fuck?
immigrants are human beings who deserve compassion just like any other human being. What a fucking evil piece of hypocritical shit he is.
So wait, I mean, because my position, I don't know if you know this about me, Paul, but my position is that if there's like a Mexican immigrant or something that's here illegally
Uh-huh.
and they get sick, we should just let them die.
My position is that they're 2/3 of a human being.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. This seems kind of fucking
2/3.
Yeah, you pansy little liberal. I think they're 0/0ths of a human being, man. Not even human. Let them die in the streets.
It's just absurd.
So many things wrong with this stance, I'm not even sure where to start. First and foremost, we have a problem with illegal immigration, and this is the last thing we should be offering. Listen up, because here's how we solve the illegal immigration problem. First, we continue cracking down on those who enter illegally. Illegal immigration.
You're already wrong. Leading with more enforcement of border crossing policies, that's absolutely fucking wrong. That is not going to stop people. It traditionally hasn't stopped people. We've had, at varying times throughout the history of this country, had way more fucking protectionistic attempts to stifle the flow of people to this country. And you know what? They still kept coming.
I mean, we actually had. I mean, have you seen some of the fucking legislation that was passed against like the Chinese back in the day,
or the Irish?
Crazy shit.
So get off my fucking jock with this shit. This is a stupid thing to lead with, and if you're leading with that flawed premise, something tells me you're not going to give a single answer to the problem of illegal immigration.
Well, maybe you'll be surprised.
Immigration is against the law, and those who break this law should be prosecuted. Secondly, we need to reform the current.
So where do you put them? You want them in American? You want them in the American prison system,
right,
being paid for by American tax dollars? Then,
right? Yeah. How do you institute punitive measures against these people if you want them prosecuted? So you want the American people to foot the bill for a public prosecution of these people for coming here illegally, and then what? Ship them back home so they can do it again? Oh, we already do that. Sorry.
Legal immigration system. Right now, it's far too long and far too strenuous. America is, without a doubt, the best country, and crossing the border illegally should not be easier than applying for citizenship legally. Finally, we need to stop rewarding illegal immigrants like Bernie plans on doing. It's pathetic that Sanders wants to provide health care for—
Man, it sucks to live in a country that's good enough for other people to want to come to. You ever notice that?
Yeah, we definitely want to tamp down on all those reasons people want to come to this country.
Yeah, we need to fucking, I think we need to make this country like a real shitty place. It's so miserable that no one even wants to come here.
Yeah, just
that's the solution in my mind.
Pump the misery index till nobody would even think of coming here.
Yeah, I think that like every American by law should have like electrodes clamped to their fucking balls or whatever genitals they have. And every day at a random interval, it just gives you a fucking big shock and you're just...
So there are two actual answers to this immigration policy.
Go ahead, Paul.
We're not
Lay it out.
Number one, if you want to exist within the current system and you really want to stifle the amount of people coming here, then you need to take away the work, because that is what 90% of the people that are coming here and overstaying visas and crossing the border illegally are coming here to do. They're coming here to work and make money. And in order to do that, they have to work for somebody. See, they can't come here. They're not allowed to set up their own businesses and shit. So they can't come here and do that. They have to work for somebody. Go after those somebodies that are employing illegal illegal immigrant labor and forcing down wages, and force them to pay a competitive wage. When the work dries up, far fewer people will come here, but that's not even on the table for these people. And that's just if you want to fix it within our current fucking paradigm. If you really want to fix it, throw the fucking borders open and start treating this place like what it is, the best fucking country in the goddamn world, and let people be drawn to it for those reasons, and let them add their fucking labor to the pool. There's your answers.
For all 11 million illegal immigrants. This is a total slap in the face to those who actually came to this country legally.
No, it isn't. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's a slap in the face to the people that come here legally. I think that the vast majority of people that come here legally realize how privileged they were to even get to that fucking point, and have probably known people who have come here illegally and established themselves here and made good lives for themselves. So I don't buy this Hunter Avallone speaks for all the people that come here legally argument.
Policies
That doesn't jive with me.
like the one Bernie is proposing only encourages more illegal immigration. Why would you go through the long, strenuous process?
Here's an here's an idea. How about you just make it legal?
Right.
You know, if the problem is illegal immigration and you want to make it easier for people to come here legally, what's easier than just flinging open the border? Like, what's easier than that?
Nothing.
Come on in. You want to come in? You want to be here? Come on in. You know, and by the way, no mainstream Democrat has that position, including Bernie Sanders.
No, of course not.
There's not a single mainstream Democrat politician that supports open borders. Although I think there should be. I think there should be an argument made for that.
Sure.
I don't see why we can't have that discussion. I don't see why it's a forbidden subject, but apparently it is.
No, I mean, and it's a subject that, like, people will jump on the actually train immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, no, I'm not saying that, you know, you do this overnight. I'm saying that there's a path from where we are now, which is criminalizing something that is clearly unenforceable in our current fucking economy.
It's always been unenforceable. They've never been able to do
Right.
it. Even when you pass draconian racist laws against, like, Chinese people and said, like, it's illegal to hire Chinese people and shit.
Yeah, they still
Because it's gotten to
stayed.
that point.
They still came. They still
stayed,
thrived.
They made their own economies, and now they're one of the most successful fucking segments of the population. You can't stop it. If there is a fucking country of economic prosperity, like, you should be fucking thankful you live in a country that's economically prosperous enough that people want to fucking come here.
Right. And why would you want to continually diminish that attractiveness about your country? By punishing everybody else.
Yeah, it's like,
so we
no
all
one
have
can
to live without
no one
health
can have
care.
fucking health care because it might encourage more Mexicans to come here.
Right. It's just
Fuck
like,
that logic. I don't care. Let them come.
Yeah.
Let them come. Let them work. Let them contribute to the tax base.
I know enough about American history not to fear the fucking immigrant. This is a country that was built by immigrants, and that's not just a liberal talking point. That's the actual truth. Those Chinese people that TJ mentioned
Built the railroads.
literally built the industrial backbone of this fucking country and left their signature on it for all time. They added to the value that is this place. So I've yet to see this cloud of fucking non-participatory immigrants that all of these conservative people are constantly crowing are coming. You know what I mean? I hate to be anecdotal, but
I love the fucking cognitive dissonance of they're stealing our jobs, but they're leeches. So
Right.
which is it? Are they here to work or are they here to leech?
Right. It's just absurd.
Make up your fucking mind.
It's a dehumanizing way of looking at people. And I hate to, like, once again, I hate to be anecdotal. I grew up around a lot of these people. And you know what typifies them? They work their fucking asses off to a T, doing jobs for a pittance that people that actually live in this country wouldn't even do for a competitive wage. They're the janitors. They're the fucking fruit pickers out in the fucking hot-ass sun. They're the people laying out the grapes to make raisins and shit. So you can't describe these people as leeches at the same time saying that they're coming here to steal our fucking jobs.
It's a cognitive dissonance. Make up your mind.
Like what's less leechy than wanting to do fucking labor for recompense? Like that's the very definition of somebody who isn't a leech. Somebody who's willing to not only work but bust their fucking hump. I'm telling you, the work that these people do when they fucking come here, this little dude has never done anything like it in his life. Guaranteed. Most people haven't.
I haven't.
And we're lucky to live in a fucking society where most people don't have to do that kind of work. And these people come here to do it unapologetically.
Process of coming here legally if you can just hop the fence and get free health care. Another big promise of Bernie Sanders is to cancel all student loan debt. Senator Bernie Sanders on Monday proposed canceling all 1.6...
See, hold on. Hop the fence. Do you want to live in a country that's got a fence around it?
Yeah, they do.
See, this
They
is what
want
I'm
a wall.
talking
They
about,
want
man.
more than a fence. They want a fucking wall.
Just the imagery of that summons up gulags and concentration camps and fucking horrible industrial nightmares. You want to live in a country that's got a fence around it? You want some fucking twirly barbed wire around the edge, too? You want to live in a prison?
Yeah, they do.
What is this? What is this cognitive dissonance on the right where America's the best place in the world, but we got to stop people from wanting to come here and add their value to it? pick a side, man.
$6 trillion of outstanding student loan debt in the United States, one-upping a rival for the Democratic presidential nomination, Senator Elizabeth Warren, who has proposed canceling $640 billion of the debt. I hate hearing Democrats rattle on about this nonsense that only entitled losers find appealing. It's not that.
Yeah, only an entitled loser would want their debt canceled.
Yeah, dude, doctorate students that are sitting on fucking $200,000 of student debt and will never fucking dig themselves out of it over a long career of academia. They're definitely losers. Total fucking losers. What are you talking? What are you arguing for? A society where you just, life is one giant bill that you never pay off?
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what he's arguing
I don't even fucking understand this worldview. It's why it gets me so heated, because, like, you're arguing against yourself and your loved ones, assuming that you have any left.
Daddy government's job to clean up after the young adults who willfully took out a loan to get through college.
Oh my God. So you want to live in a place where you've got to fucking, that's what's tied to getting an education. And by the way, I love how you're just fucking classifying all young people who go to college as just stupid people who took on debt and didn't know what they were doing. Like, what is this? Anti-intellectualism and anti-education screed that we're hearing here.
Yet another proposal that just doesn't hold up. Again, this might sound nice, but it certainly would not cancel all future student loan debt. Sanders has proposed making all undergraduate programs at public colleges and universities free. That would reduce the need for borrowing, but it would not eliminate future student debt. Not even close. According to the Department of Education, only 45% of student loans are used to attend public colleges and universities, presumably because tuition at those schools is already lower than in the private sector.
So aren't you admitting here that it's a step in the right direction to not only cancel this fucking debt, but to make the baseline of college affordable, not only affordable, but free for everybody? Like, he's like, I think unconsciously showing data and giving us fucking information that argues directly against what he's talking about. So you're just showing us what a mountain of debt people incur to attend these fucking universities. Okay.
A lot of the student loan debt is acquired from attending private or graduate schools.
Okay.
Resetting all student loan debt sounds nice, but like socialism, it just doesn't work. The Sanders plan controls the cost of public undergraduate
Except that it does. In multiple fucking places all over the fucking world.
Education by setting tuition to zero and keeping it there. So financing public higher education would become a matter of the federal government and states deciding how much they want to spend on higher learning. The universities would have no pricing power because there would be no prices. Graduate programs, by contrast, would still be mostly free to charge whatever they like, as is the case today. With the precedent of loan forgiveness established, graduate programs could be tempted to charge even more since students might never have to pay back their loans.
Well,
I mean, you could easily pass legislation against that.
Right. I gotta admit, this is a gap in the fucking plan. If it indeed is as it's presented here, which who knows when it's coming from you, who've told demonstrable lies over the course of this video. But assuming that is correct, I agree. It's a huge gap. It's a huge gap. But you have to admit, maybe it's a little better that everybody gets a baseline standard in education and then has to start fucking paying for their postgraduate work than none at all. Then no path to that. You have to go to fucking, like, your pre-graduate fucking studies and shit before you can get to postgrad. So it's pricing all those people out of the fucking market. And to say that nobody incurs debt going to public schools, I beg to differ. I beg to differ.
Spokesman for Bernie Sanders admitted that the plan would not make graduate or professional school free or regulate private universities. That means the day after Senator Sanders hits the reset button, the national student debt odometer would begin rapidly spinning again. Will those later debts be forgiven too? If not, the plan would create a generation of student loan lottery winners with losers on either side.
I mean, how are you I mean, even if that's the case, you still you still had a generation that won the fucking lottery there. So I don't see how, and I mean, you would still make public colleges and universities tuition free. So if people chose to go into the private universities, and postgraduate and shit and incur new student debt and it wasn't forgiven by some other administration down the line, wouldn't it still be good for this immediate generation to have its student loan debt canceled?
I mean, he's making an argument for an even more leftist policy,
right?
Than Bernie's.
To me, it's like, yeah. So Bernie isn't going far enough, is what I'm really hearing here.
And that's exactly my position. My position is fuck forgiving student loan debt. Dismantle the very system by which people have sprung up these fucking corporations to profit off of people just trying to get a fucking education. And a massive reinvestment in education in this country, starting at fucking preschool and ending at fucking graduate school, that includes free access to anybody who wants to go through it. Now, if you say that that's impossible, I have a fucking, what is it now? What's our budget now? A $2 trillion budget or some shit like that?
Something. I don't know. I don't know offhand.
Are you telling me that none of that money could be put to work doing any of those things that I just said? And appropriated from things that are demonstrably taking from this country, like constant, endless, grinding war that everybody just accepts as a fact of life now. There are 18-year-olds in this country that are now full-fledged adults that have never known a time that this country wasn't at war and may never know a time. What do you think is at the end result of all of that bullshit? It's money. If we stopped spending that money bombing other places and on military misadventurism and colonialism and crony capitalism all over the fucking globe and hyper-exploitation of resources and all the war and tragedy and misery that comes from that, and took that money and invested it in this place, we could live in the fucking Jetsons universe, you dipshit.
So it's $4 trillion.
$4 trillion
was the federal budget for 2018.
$4 trillion. Trillion.
With a T.
May not be enough to do everything that I'm talking about right off the bat, but I guarantee if you started reappropriating those funds year to year and investing slowly but surely, we'd be building a country that people wanted to fucking come to instead of just fucking rotting.
Not to mention, even conservative think tanks have taken a look at Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan. I know we're not talking about Medicare for All right now, but it's actually set to reduce the cost of health care, at least for, the consumer.
That's not shocking.
People who had already paid back their loans would get nothing. People with future loans would get nothing. People with debt on the day the legislation was enacted would be rewarded. Pretty funny that Sanders promotes the idea that our economy rewards people.
Well, wouldn't that be the people that are alive right now and voting for him? So,
you would think.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, he's saying, like, we're not that past generation that had to deal with the debt, and we're not that future generation that has to deal with the debt. We're the present generation that already has the debt now, and Sanders is saying, let's forgive this debt, which, by the way, is going to free up a lot of people economically to do a lot more even consuming and shopping. Like, wouldn't this be a stimulant to the economy because people aren't spending their money on their student loan debt?
Exactly. All these professionals that have all this money?
Wouldn't they start spending their money in the private sector and thus helping giant companies your rich people that you like?
Sounds like a capitalistic argument for this to me, TJ.
Right. So I'm trying to make a right-wing argument on this shit. So if you free people from this fucking student debt, they're going to use that money to buy fucking TVs,
goods, services,
fucking
vacations,
kitchen equipment, and go
Netflix
on a trip.
Subscriptions.
Yeah, so I mean, like, they're spending it on entertainment, they're spending it on improvements to their homes. Maybe they're buying new homes with it. Who fucking knows? But isn't that
some
good?
Of these people
isn't
are
that ultimately good for our economy? Right?
I know I told you about this the other day. I don't know if I mentioned it on the show, but I have a Facebook friend who I went to high school with, who was jokingly, her kid is starting high school.
Yeah.
And she jokingly made a Facebook post saying, my goal is I hopefully have my student debt paid off in time to incur her student debt.
Yeah.
And she doesn't think she's going to be able to accomplish that. So she's raised an 18-year-old. She's a professional who's been working in a field for longer than that. And she's still paying for her education to get there. This is what we're talking about. This is the yoke that these professional people are under. And TJ's exactly right. They would have, dude, that woman that I just talked about would be spending that money, taking that kid on vacations, enriching corporations, flying places, traveling, fucking upgrading her house, maybe moving to a bigger house. I'm just saying. These are the like, it would liberate so much money that's tied up in something that ultimately hurts the economy, which is our ballooning fucking public debt.
Right. And by the way, I mean, you have to realize as well that this debt is a liability to the entire economic structure of this country.
It's
I mean,
it's part of a greater system of liability where debt is monetized in this country.
Yeah, I
to
mean,
the
debt
point,
is leveraged,
repackaged, re-leveraged, leveraged multiple times,
sold off to
sold,
the highest bidder,
traded, and then eventually it all comes tumbling down because it's built on a void of money that nobody can come up with.
Right. So, I mean, this is a fucking huge liability to our entire economy. This could actually be the catalyst.
It almost ended
for another fucking Great Recession or Depression.
It almost collapsed the global economy in 2007, 2008, and 2009. There were massive 100-year-old financial institutions that were thought to be banked until the end of eternity literally went insolvent because they had over-leveraged their debt obligations.
Right, and that could happen just as easily with student loan debt as it did with mortgage debt. So I mean, like, let's not kid ourselves here. There's reasons beyond just free shit.
Not only that,
to want to do this.
The mortgage debt crisis is happening again. The same policies and the same predatory lending are starting to happen again because the regulatory structure that was put in place, the very bare bones, almost toothless,
completely toothless,
regular,
if you're honest.
but like it was at least a step, has been completely and utterly neutered now. Rolled back to pre-2008 levels in terms of what they can do with these collateralized debt obligations, CDO shits that they're doing it again on that front. Then you've got the looming fucking, can you look up, TJ? What is the fucking student loan debt in total?
Yeah, I'll look it up. I think it's like 600 billion or something.
$600 billion into the economy.
Let me check, make sure.
Out of the hands of this predatory lending fucking institution that serves nothing but to be a leech on society.
Okay, so I was wrong. Outstanding student loan debt in the United States lies between $902 billion and $1 trillion.
That sounds like something that could sink this fucking economy.
Yeah, that's about a fourth of the national budget. So
right.
The defense, not defense budget.
What's our
federal
GDP?
Budget. Our GDP, I think, is around 3.6 billion.
So a third of
trillion or something.
Our third of our GDP is tied up in giant fucking predatory loans that nobody has any intention of ever being able to pay back.
I'm sorry, our GDP is much higher. It's 19.
Okay.
But
Jesus, it's still that's a significant chunk of fucking our GDP that serves nobody.
Right.
But that corporation that made that predatory loan. So why not take a look at that as a business practice and start eliminating some of these? How about we just return back to the fucking savings and loan days before they fucking gutted all the regulations that allowed the banks to fucking become these giant monstrous beings that loom over us? Getting a loan back in the day used to be a fucking stringent process because banks were all local institutions with a local board that had an investment in that particular bank.
We have, as of December 31st, 2018, debt held by the public was at 16.1 trillion, and intra-government holdings were at 5.87 trillion for a total of 21.97 trillion. So I mean, like, we're talking
we owe more than we make a year.
We're talking about a 20th
we're underwater.
of the overall debt of all of America, basically.
Right.
Or not all of America. 'Cause we're not talking about like I don't think that includes like foreign debt or anything like that, like our government, but intra-government debt and personal debt. Like if you just we'll just look at public debt. We're talking about 1/16 of all public debt.
Right. Is
in
wrapped up in
loans.
this alone.
Student loans alone.
Not to mention predatory housing loans.
So
not to mention these long-term fucking contractual loans.
I mean, America is a country where your way of life a lot of times depends on being in debt.
Not only that, even if you're part of the 1%, that is true. To a certain extent, these super fucking powerful entities move debt around for a living. They incur debt in order to fucking live. How much money they can borrow is their bank. And they engage in it. It's like a feeding frenzy of fucking cheap money. And it circulates throughout our entire fucking society, and it's at the root of all these fucking problems. And Hunter Avalone, with his smug, punchable face, is advocating for just status quo. That last fucking statistic that you read, total public debt obligations plus intergovernmental obligations, is over our GDP. We owe more than we produce.
So we're having some connectivity issues here.
Oh, fuck. Shitty.
We're not totally offline, but we're cycling between red and yellow here. So I'm going to go ahead and let me see here. Are you guys having trouble on your end seeing what's going on here?
Yeah, put up the chat.
Let me know. Yeah, let's go ahead and switch to
Fuck
chat
Hunter
mode.
Abalone.
Stream breaking up, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Trying to reestablish connection. Nope, still having some connectivity issues here.
You can change the
bitrate
ingest
perhaps.
server or whatever, too.
Yeah, maybe that would help. Let's see. Okay, I can't do it while I'm still streaming. I'm going to just stop it again. Looks like we're still experiencing those issues.
Damn.
Could be an ISP problem on our end here.
Yeah, that sucks. I guess we just gotta ride the wave.
Ride the wave.
This is why we don't stream live most of the time, by the way.
Yeah, this kind of stuff always happens. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Stream big and smelly.
Dude, maybe YouTube is squashing us.
Uh-oh. They're speaking against the capitalist powers that be.
Better quiet them down.
Crush them. Crush them.
People are saying good now.
Okay, it looks like it's going back to green.
Oh, that's good.
So it looks like that little hiccup might be over with.
Little popcorn fart.
I don't know what we might have lost on that. I know we missed some of Paul's rant there, but I don't think he wants to try to recreate it. So
it happened. It is what it is.
But yeah, so yeah, we'll switch over. Oh fuck, it's going red and yellow again.
Goddamn. Are you recording this?
No.
Damn. That sucks.
I'll start recording now just in case we have to proceed on from a recording from this point. Okay, looking solid green once more. I don't know. It's being real finicky right now, so we'll just have to see. I think the best thing to do is just plow forward. And I've started a backup recording in case this part of the stream becomes unusable.
That's fine.
So yeah, let's do some fucking Highdeology here if people
well, we're going to have to let everybody shake off the I'm back fever.
I'm back.
But let's get some good, Highdeology questions, man. You guys are the elite. You guys are the ones that pay for a Highdeology once a month, man.
Yeah, so let's fucking see what we got.
I want to hear some elite questions, dude. Give us some good shit. Ask questions about the show, because we always like talking about what we're cooking up for the show. Ask questions about things we, normally don't talk about.
Ask us deep, profound, philosophical questions that'll make us miserable.
Please. Please.
Yeah, you guys are on. Let's
yeah,
fucking do this. I know there's probably, by this time, the delay always gets worse and worse the longer you stream.
Oh,
so
yeah, for sure.
By now, they're
they're probably like 20 minutes behind us.
They're like still listening to us fucking Hunter Avalone stupid,
Why you gay? Oh, man, the first one.
Why you guys make fun of Hugo being trans? I didn't feel like I was... I guess I was, but it wasn't like hateful. It was like the same way I'd rib Paul for being a fat fuck or a miserable cocksucker.
Right.
I like Hugo. I think he's a cool dude. I think his content's
TJ?
good.
Cool chick.
Cool chick, sorry. I'm still getting used to it.
Right.
That wasn't malicious.
Deliberate misgendering is what that was, TJ.
Yeah. I'm still in the modality. I'm a little slower on the uptake these days, So, it chapter review. Anyway, I'm still talking about the Hugo shit. I have no fucking ill will. It's fucking retarded. I obviously fucking respect her gender identity and all that shit.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
got no reason to hate a person.
Right. But, it doesn't mean I'm not going to fucking throw a little shade. It's not mean shade. It's just the way I am. Respect my identity, bitch. You guys talk about It chapter. You seen It chapter 2?
No.
All right.
I actually drove down to the movie theater with the intent on seeing it Chapter 2 the other day.
Yeah.
I got there, and the only seats that were left still in the theater were like the fucking neck breaker seats. And I was like, fuck this. And I just went home.
I saw it in basically an empty movie theater.
See, that's so weird. The fucking place by my place was literally, well, I guess, I don't know when you went.
I went to a matinee show in a theater that's a town or two over.
Oh, okay.
But I like the theater better. So that's why I go there.
Right.
Seats are not as comfortable, but pretty much everything else is better there. So I watched it there, and meh.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I've heard from the voices that I trust on this.
Real meh.
It's kind of a lukewarm.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't think you'd be wrong to watch it once.
Oh, I'm definitely going to watch it.
Yeah, I think it's worth a watch. If we're going to go by the old Paul standard, I'd say watch it, but with a fucking huge caveat of don't expect much.
Right. I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm going through a thing right now.
I will say this. I'll give it a few things. All right. So
Okay.
one thing I'll say, and I know you don't want to probably talk too much about a movie you haven't seen yet,
Sure.
but I will say that I wrote a bad review on Letterboxd. You can see my critiques there. I'll tell you the things I actually thought was good about it.
Okay.
I genuinely think that Bill Skarsgård did a better fucking performance this time around.
He's refined as Pennywise, what you're saying?
I think he's dialed it back a little bit, and I actually found him genuinely creepy in a couple scenes. The problem is, well, I'm not said I wasn't going to talk about problems. I said I was going to good things.
Right.
Bill Hader's pretty funny. I
don't like Bill Hader.
I know you don't like him, but I like him, and I thought he was funny. If you like Bill Hader, you'll probably like him in this. There's who the fuck else? There's another actor that's actually good. Fucking who was it?
I don't know who's in it.
Fucking it doesn't matter. Most of them were awful. You know who was really actually sadly awful was James McAvoy.
Oh, really?
He was not good. And I don't think it was 100% his fault. I really think most of it, honestly, was
Script problem.
Script problems.
Yeah.
Most of the adults fucking. Oh, you know who else was good? I don't know. The reason I was struggling is I actually don't know the actor's name. But he played Eddie, and he just played Eddie as a straight up prick.
Right.
And I fucking love that because I remember in the TV version, he was kind of played as like a sort of a soft, narcissistic, not narcissistic, like a soft, kind of not very assertive kind of guy.
Right.
And they just went totally opposite and just made him an outright fucking prick. And I liked that.
Yeah.
He actually made him more interesting.
TJ and Paul, what are some things you do to keep? Oh, sorry. Did you have more to say?
No,
about it?
I said I went on this thing where I'm like I don't want to talk too much about it, and then I started just going on and on and on. So
no, it's fine. If
Yeah.
you got more in you,
I don't.
It just seemed like you were done.
I don't.
What are some things you do to keep cool, calm about moving across the country? Were you nervous moving from Ohio to Washington since both of you have done it multiple times already?
Moving for me is like a way of life, so I don't even think much of it anymore.
Yeah.
Honestly. I've done it so many times. I've done cross country moves so many times. I'm just I don't like.
But talk about it being in the moment, though. Like the actual act of moving, I think, is what he's talking about. And
Right.
let's see if you agree with this.
Yeah.
There's no like keeping calm. It's like an ass on fire, giant fucking last second nightmare.
I don't get it anymore. I know what you're talking about.
Right.
Because in the past, but I've done it so many times now. It's like, if anything, it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
I got to do this, I guess.
I've just had to learn to embrace the fact that every one of these is going to be a seat of your pants, at like fucking literal hair on fire, trying to fucking conduct an orchestra of gooses. And it's just a fucking nightmare scenario. But
that's why I always.
if you just plow through the bullshit,
Yeah.
at the end result is you're in your new pad.
My advice to you, to anyone who needs to move across country, and I know that, not everyone has the same financial resources and all that stuff, but like take as much of it off your own plate as you possibly can. The simpler just dedicate a part of your mind not just to accomplishing the task, but asking like, how can I make this simpler?
Right.
Because there's always a way. Get your friends to come over and move for you and say your fucking back is injured. Lay on the couch and ham it up like you're fucking really hurt. Oh, thank you guys, and be sure to fucking shower them with praise and all that. I'm serious. Like, do whatever you can to take it off yourself, because whatever it's gonna be a fucking pain in the ass for you.
Oh yeah. No, that's
So
that's
literally
true.
anything you can fucking do to take something off your plate and put it on anybody else's is a good thing to do, because there's always going to be a giant heap for you. Don't feel bad about it. Everyone else is trying to do the same shit,
Right.
you know? And if you can afford to hire movers, hire fucking movers. The plastic bins are a lot better for a lot of shit than those boxes, because they're way easier to pack and they're way easier to just clasp shut.
Right.
Get yourself some fucking totes and then just tape them shut. You know, minimize your reliance on cardboard boxes. I hate fucking cardboard boxes when it comes to a move.
Yeah, that does suck.
Put all, label all your shit. Fucking pack it one room at a time.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Make sure the rooms that you pack have the boxes from that room. Don't fucking do a staging area somewhere. Keep shit in the room it's going to be in and fucking have it labeled to go into that room's equivalent in whatever your new place is.
Yeah, these are smart tips.
I mean, just, it's
But
it's
even
really
if you
shit.
even if you do all that shit,
Expect some misery.
yeah, it's still good. It's miserable.
It's not fun.
It's a nightmare.
It's not fun, but for me, it's not that stressful anymore. It's just a thing I've done so many times.
So I've seen a lot of people asking about dank D&D.
Yes.
So
You want to just give them a fucking full status update on
I'm just gonna tell them what we're building, because I think that like just the scope of what we've undertaken there, we really haven't been able to communicate it to people because it's only now starting to take shape. We've built an entire set for the show. And when I say built a set, I mean a lot of you guys heard the saga of the gaming table. Well, that has arrived. All the parts and components have arrived, and that's complete. The set itself is wired with a bunch of professional stage lighting. That's being hung like this week as we speak. We have all of the components that we need to move forward with a vision for the show that's totally like, it's still going to be the same thing. It's us sitting down playing Dungeons and Dragons, or in our case, Pathfinder. But there's going to be a whole audio visual element that we're going to be able to do. People will be able to be spotlighted where the other people, are sitting in the dark in comparison. There's, the ability to weave in sound effects and lightning effects and voice changer effects that not only you as people that are watching it will hear, but the players of the game will hear as the shit happens. There's a whole layer of control that we're going to have over the lighting and sound and feel of this show that it's hard to overstate how much work and effort and energy into designing that has gone in over the last few months since the last entry of Dank D&D.
Absolutely.
There's a ton of shit that
I think that people are going to be very impressed with the final results, and I think it's going to be something that exceeds expectations.
I mean, far as I'm going, the most complex production that I've ever taken part in.
Me too. As far as this studio here goes, we're going to be making some upgrades to that in the near future as well. But we wanted to get this D&D studio done first. I don't know why it was the priority to do that way, but I think it was just because we saw we all had such a clear vision of what we wanted the D&D thing to look like.
Right.
Whereas this has been more, I don't want to say contentious, but difficult.
It's just nebulous as to how it's all going to look in the end. And we've had this clear fucking vision of Dank D&D for all these months.
That's probably why it actually happened before this upgrade. But yeah, real fucking awesome shit there.
I will be DMing the next time you see Dank D&D, but we're designing, we want to do things with this concept that aren't just in the world of D&D and Pathfinder and that type of role-playing game.
Right.
We've
created a set that we think is going to be very conducive to, whatever fucking RPG we want to play. So.
Right. And that means that, we can explore other little pockets of gaming. It's a great space to play board games. And
we could even fucking play.
We could
break out some fucking Scrabble or fucking Monopoly or whatever the fuck. Probably not Monopoly because that's horrible.
Oh, dude, Monopoly would be hilarious.
It would be hilarious.
Dude, the backstabbing and thievery that would go on.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Just getting together to actually sit down across the table from one another and play these fucking games in a space that we can light how we want and have control over the various aspects of the production and kind of immerse people in that gaming experience. We're about to have the fucking launching vehicle for that, and it's going to be so fucking cool.
TJ, when do you plan on making movies? That's like a dream, obviously, for me. And, I've thought about, honestly, just getting a camera and doing some really low-budget kind of fucking movie. but
You've done
the
that.
time demands
Time, dude. Fucking
would be fucking crazy.
just make another fucking Eggs 2 Bricks 3.
Well, I'm talking about a full length fucking thing.
Right. I know that's what they're talking about
But
too.
you
But
know, as
eventually
far as,
you'll have a
as
full
far
length.
as making the movies that I actually want to make in my mind, requires a whole other different level of fucking monetary success that I am not fucking on. Movies are a very expensive endeavor. I have been working a little bit on a novel that I've taken various stabs at in my life, but you know, I wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah.
So,
I've been poking around with a little bit of writing too. I've done some skeletal writing on a screenplay, although I'm very, very slow to learn screenplay writing, and I'm taking very, it's not something that I spend a ton of fucking time doing.
right.
I've also got a little bit of work done on a novel that may never be finished.
Yeah, I've written, I mean, I must have written probably in my lifetime like more than 1 million words towards attempted novels, and I've never fucking been able to get that down. So
Yeah.
I don't know that I ever will, but it's something I tool around with in my spare time.
Yeah.
That's probably why. I mean, I just don't know. I feel like if I was really seriously going to try to do something like that, I would literally have to walk away from everything else I'm doing to make it happen. It'd have to be a singular focus kind of thing, or it wouldn't be worth doing. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe someday. It's always a dream of mine, but
I think the dream, of course, I share that kind of dream. I want to make movies at some point, but I think that I've kind of compartmentalized my dream a little bit to the point where I just want to get a screenplay out there. I think that's a way more achievable fucking goal.
right.
If I can get a screenplay that's tight and good, I could shop it around to a few places. Maybe it gets picked up, and then I can make a movie. I'm starting to fucking let go of the idea that if I have to make a movie, it's got to be, my own fucking money or nothing that goes into it.
Right.
Maybe that's a fucking pathway to getting it done, but I just want to kind of flesh out one fucking screenplay and just have a movie that I can say, okay, I did that. Shop it around a little bit. If nothing happens, oh well. Didn't happen. Didn't do the movie thing. Because I don't see any other way of doing it. I talk about, like, we have tons of great, like, movie ideas that would make great treatments and shit. You don't even have to write a whole screenplay. You can write a treatment. They're just, like, little aspects of it that I've started to think about while I'm hunting and pecking away at them. Like, just getting one of these done or getting something that's, like, skeletal, like a treatment for this film done might be a pathway to making that movie.
What film has influenced me the most? That's kind of hard to say since I haven't really made any sort of serious foray into filmmaking. I don't even really pay too much attention to like camera angles and shit when I'm doing YouTube videos. So I don't know that I have the technical proficiencies to I definitely need someone else to be like the camera person and the lighting person. Like what I'd really...
Maybe he's just talking about personally.
Right.
Like what's been the most impactful film that you've ever seen when it comes to your personality and your outlook?
The movies that resonate the best with me, Seven Samurai, Akira Kurosawa, Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood, 1992, I think, and The Big Lebowski. Love that movie.
All good choices.
Inception. I like that a lot. So at least I don't know. Those movies have been a big influence. I don't know what exactly about them influence. I think probably the characters. When I watch a movie, I'm usually way more interested in characters than visuals. That's kind of what I get out of them.
Sure.
So if I was ever make something, like movie-wise, it would definitely be a very character-driven kind of story.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. The movie that I want to make is a horror movie. That's not, unexpected, I think, if you know me and have listened to my kind of taste in films. But yeah, just had the idea for a horror movie that won't stop kicking around my brain. TJ's heard it. I've never talked about it publicly.
Most of the shit that's in my head is like sci-fi.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's just I can't shake the idea of making this movie. And I've got a real picture of, how it exists, at least, shot to shot in my head, and where I want it to begin and where I want it to end. And I just have to fill it with interesting characters and interesting, conundrums and things that defy expectation. And that's the hard part of the script writing, in my opinion. It's fleshing out all that shit. Now, doesn't fucking...
I'd like to do a video essay at some point on Unforgiven and Seventh Samurai together as films and kind of like look at the similarities, because I feel like there's a lot of parallels between those movies. And I really like watching people's film interpretation channels, and I'll watch it all over the spectrum too. And it's kind of crazy because people put their politics and all kinds of shit in there. There's ones that are like super left wing, ones that are super fucking right wing, ones that are super feminist, ones that are super neckbeard. I mean, there's just like crazy fucking like to look at. I love to see how these different ideologies and stuff process films. And
Right.
I also like to watch the people who are not so much influenced by ideology, but are just appreciating, like, here's an appreciation of the cinematography of this film, or here's an appreciation of the sound editing in this film, and here's
Right.
appreciation. Like, it's kind of not neat to see people look at movies through ideological lenses or just craftsman kind of lenses. And
Well, that's
shit.
always been...
I love that.
That's always been the joy of watching movies, to me, has been, like, the conversation that comes after the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Because
that...
it's part of... It kind of gets to what we were talking about when we first started doing this, about getting into other people's heads. I think one of the most effective ways we do that is to see, like, how did each of our minds process this thing that was presented to
Right.
us,
I mean, that... And I want to make a movie that makes people do that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that would be... And look, dude, not to jump back, but I think it ties in. When we're talking about, like, the ability for somebody to write a screenplay and make a movie... Now may be one of the better times to have that dream. If you listen to, what's his name, Billy Joe, or fucking, what's his name? The guy that does the fucking drive-in.
Oh,
Yeah,
Joe Bob Briggs.
Joe Bob, yeah, sorry. I had every other hick name in my fucking head but Joe Bob.
Joe Bob Briggs.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a big discussion that he had about indie filmmaking right now, and he seems to think, if you listen to him, that this is one of the greatest times in history for people that like horror movies to just jump into it, or any kind of movie.
Yeah.
Just jump into it, get a script,
The problem
fucking
is,
cobble it together and make the movie.
Here's the big issue that I have in terms of, like, the ideas for movies that I'd want to make, is they're all fucking movies that would require like $300 million budgets.
Oh, yeah.
Yet no studio would ever fucking pay $300 million for, because they're crazy.
Yeah.
So
See, I don't have...
that's why I've kind of started thinking, like, maybe I should write a novel instead, because
That's probably right.
then I don't. There's no budget for the novel other than just like the time I can devote to it. But unfortunately, I feel like I don't have as much of that as I'd like either.
Yeah.
But
Well, it sucks. It's a
C'est la
constant
vie.
hell wanting to make something and not being sure of how to fucking continue the process of doing it.
Yeah.
Just one of those things you deal with.
No, Paul's not going to share his horror movie idea with you. He's trying to write a screenplay for it.
Yeah,
so
dude. I don't want anybody
the last
else's
thing he
input.
needs is someone who's faster than him to fucking
Oh yeah, no, fuck that.
try to beat
that
him
would
to
suck.
the fucking.
But I'm not as scared of that as I am scared of just allowing input on the idea.
Right. Oh, you should have a scene where you don't.
I just
need that
don't want
shit.
it.
No.
I don't want to invite that yet. It doesn't even exist yet. When you guys have something that's like close to a finished product, I'll release it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to share like what I'm working on, but not at the fucking stage it's at now.
What is there in your estimation to look forward to in our near future? Probably like a lot more immersive, sort of artificial experiences, I would think. Like something akin.
What
to
was the question?
The holodeck. What to look forward to in the future? The
Oh
near
yeah,
future.
you're talking about like VR getting better and
Right.
better.
I'm talking about something that's way more immersive. Like we're talking like Matrix holodeck kind of level.
Right.
Sort of immersion into an artificial experience of some kind.
I mean, direct brain interfacing,
Maybe.
quantum computing. I mean, that's like something that, like, quantum computing. I saw a story, and it's not really a practical quantum computer, but Google has tested a quantum computer that's able to do computations like an absurd, like, trillion times faster than the best thing they have now.
Right.
And, like, that is going to change the face of the way, like, the kind of weird life that we live now is going to be accelerated to such a fucking degree. Technology and the reach of it into your life and the ability for you to manipulate it is going to just become so fucking it's unimaginable, honestly, the change that's going to come with some of the things we're on the cusp of industrializing.
Listen, Mercury just said horror movie on the incel threat to America. I'm not going to even shit you, dude. The first person who has the wherewithal to just make a cheap exploitation film called Incel
Yeah.
is going to make their money back.
Oh, yeah,
and
for sure.
then some. So
I'd be surprised if it isn't in the works already or something like it.
I mean,
Isn't that movie Cuck like that that's coming out? Have you seen that
yeah,
trailer?
I've seen the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be an Incel.
Yeah.
The Incel, the movie, it'll be about some dude who does some kind of mass shooting because he can't get laid.
Will you guys be doing another meetup later this year, next year? I don't know.
We're not sure.
Who would win in a fist fight, Friedrich Nietzsche or Albert Camus?
I don't really have an idea in my head of what Camus looked like, so I'm gonna say Nietzsche.
Nietzsche.
Yeah.
Well, that mustache looks like he could throw a punch. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Nietzsche.
I see that big imposing mustache, and I think to myself, that dude's got at least a little toughness. So
Michael Cera, protagonist and incel, huh?
he's probably at the low point in his career where you might be able to swing that.
And he kind of looks like somebody
Oh, he
that
definitely
could be in that
yes.
mindset.
Yeah.
But he's also an example of how you can look like that and totally get fucking pussy everywhere you go.
Yeah,
too.
but I think he could easily play an incel. We'll get him some
Yeah.
like fake acne and shit.
Yeah, or maybe fucking maybe what's his name? Adam Sandler's turning over a new leaf.
Yeah, I think he's a
Maybe
little
we'll
too
get him.
old to do
Nah,
the incel
dude.
thing.
There's some old ass incels out
Are
there. I agree. Mustache win for him. Would win for him.
Yeah. That's the only thing I'm really basing it on. I just see that mustache and I think there's no way.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Rambo movie.
I gave my wife the choice between going to see Rambo or It 2 because those are the movies that were minimally acceptable to me.
Right.
And she chose It 2, so I haven't seen Rambo.
Well, there you go.
But I probably would have seen Rambo.
Let's see. Could you see Marilyn Manson pulling off a Joker role?
I don't know. I feel like he's a pretty good actor from what I've seen, but he's only ever taken on very small roles. It'll be interesting to kind of see him play. He's got a fucking impending role on the Stand miniseries or movie or whatever the fuck it's coming out.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see a better idea there. I know he's playing some kind of role on the next season of American Gods too. So it seems like he has something of an acting career, but I really don't know what his range is yet. And it kind of seems like it's probably not super impressive if he keeps getting cast in these kind of smaller roles, but I don't know.
Dude. That fucking comment right there, Ayn Rand versus Karl Marx, dude, I just got an idea.
Yeah.
A fucking movie called Ideological Battle, dude.
Okay.
Where it's like all of these historical figures are teleported to the Shadow Realm by Shao Kahn and forced to fight in Mortal Kombat or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's just like Ayn Rand with her fucking guns tucked down her garter belts and shit, and she's cartwheeling over Karl Marx as he fucking throws copies of his fucking manifesto at people's head. And, you know, I want just a full action spectacle film starring all the ideological people that drive all the major ideologies, dude.
Sweet. Who's
Come on.
gonna win?
I don't know, dude.
You're not gonna spoil it.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, he beats them all with technology.
Sweet.
I don't even know why he'd be there, honestly.
Him as the trash can man. Is that actually what he's being cast as, or is that just your wish? Because I think he would actually be good in that. But once again, it's a pretty minor character. Movie about Paul's called Pork. Yeah, good one. Oh, Life.
That's
Okay.
that's a great one, dude.
It's great. I got it. Awesome.
Yeah, man.
The problem is people are too stupid to know who those people are. I don't think that's true.
Huh?
Even if people, they're saying that people are too stupid to know who these ideological, like Ayn Rand and Karl Marx.
Nah.
There's enough people who know that shit.
Yeah, dude.
Make it the super famous ones.
You just gotta make it a spectacle that even they can enjoy.
Right.
Even people that don't know these people can enjoy it. That's the tough part.
You know, you want people walking out of the theater being like, man, I can't believe that part where Ayn Rand grabbed them throwing stars out of pussy.
Yeah,
you know?
dude. Hell yeah.
And you don't have to even let them know Ayn Rand was ugly. You can cast a hot chick as Ayn Rand.
Right.
You know? Just give fucking Charlize Theron the Ayn Rand haircut, and boom.
Do you guys like the Child's Play franchise? TJ, I think, likes it more than I do.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan.
Me, not so much.
I'm actually one of the few people you'll find that will defend the Bride of Chucky.
Oh, yeah, you
and
love that bullshit.
The Seed of Chucky. So there's not many people that will defend those films, and I'm one of them. So if you ever want to have an argument about that, you know where to come.
I don't hate, some of the Child's Play movies. I've been entertained by several of them, so I won't lie and say that I fucking really horribly dislike the franchise. I just don't hold it in the reverence that a lot of horror people do. I've almost always got a horror movie I'd rather watch than a Child's Play movie, so it's just low on my totem pole, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the slasher genre.
Way more so than I am, for sure.
I don't think you're as big into the slasher horror.
I can appreciate them, but yeah, you're right.
I'm super into the idea. I don't know. And I'm super pleased, by the way, that American Horror Story is doing a slasher storyline.
Yeah. I tend towards, like, the existential horror stuff.
Yeah, like some Lovecraftian shit.
I like supernatural horror a lot, too.
Let's go ahead and revisit some...
Is it about time to abandon hope again?
Yeah, I think we're going to go back here. Well, I'm not going to use this one because I feel like this is actually... Where is it? Better. Even though it's also worse.
Right.
So this is an interesting story. Family sues Best Buy after delivery man allegedly bludgeons and burns customer.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Damn, Best Buy manager or delivery man fighting back. What did this customer do to deserve such a bludgeoning and a burning is what I want to know.
Let's see. A week after 75-year-old Evelyn Smith Udell paid Best Buy for delivery and installation of her new washer and dryer, police say she was bludgeoned and set on fire in her Florida home.
Damn.
By one of the delivery men. The
What
Boca
did she
Raton
do?
grandmother died the next day. Holy shit. On August 20th, according to a wrongful death lawsuit filed by her estate, the plaintiffs are accusing the electronics giant and two companies it retained to carry out the delivery of failing to conduct adequate background checks on delivery people. Blah, 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 blah. Statement did not... so it doesn't really say why. Maybe he's just a dick. I don't know.
Damn, she must have pissed him off something royal, dude. She must have been... Dude, there's no way she didn't deserve this. There's no way. Go back to that dude's face. Look at him. He looks like a man that was recently pushed to the brink and is considering the fucking weight of his fucking only way out, which was to bludgeon this bitch to death and set her on fire. That's the only way.
It's the only thing he could have done
right
at that point.
That does not look like a dude that just, like, fucking freaked out and had a thrill kill or some shit,
Maybe
or decided to rob her.
Maybe she made fun of his big Dumbo ears.
Yeah, she kept grabbing him from behind and going, "You fucking big Dumbo faggot, hook up my washer." He's like, "Lady, please, don't pull my ears, it hurts." You know, and then 5 minutes later she'd be back, "Hey, Dumbo!" pulling his ears, and he just snapped, you know?
Yeah, what's a fella to do?
What did she do is what I want to know.
How can we blame the victim? This guy. Yeah, I ain't going to bother. You don't even... Here, how about this guy? You
Oh,
like this
God.
Guy? It's not more Bernie rhetoric from one of your favorite people. At least it's only 3 minutes of this one.
Okay, well, let's see.
But
I'm not as defensive of Bernie Sanders as an entity or a person, so maybe he won't piss me off on this one.
Bernie is starting to open up his guns, as I suggested he would have to, on Elizabeth Warren. Earlier today, he proposed a super wealth tax.
Did he take a big hit of fucking helium right before he started doing this?
No.
Doesn't his voice kind of sound like that?
Yeah.
Like he's a dude that just, like, at the party took a big hit of helium and he's trying to be funny?
Yeah, it does.
Damn.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Tax, a super wealth tax, in which he would reduce the ability of billionaires to be billionaires. He literally tweeted out, "Billionaires should not exist. Perhaps we should put them on trains to very cold places."
Oh, yeah. It's like the Holocaust.
Yeah.
It's like the Holocaust,
Yeah,
man.
he's definitely, but the billionaire Holocaust.
The billionaire
Holocaust.
Oh, that'd be another good movie idea, by the way.
Yeah, billionaire Holocaust. Or you just follow one.
You know, maybe we should just, like, We should just fucking have a Bernie Sanders-like political figure, but instead of him being who he really is, we just, like, make everything the conservatives say about him a real thing.
Right.
And then he just, like, literally, like, he's elected and he rounds up the rich people and
puts them on trains.
Puts them on
gulags,
trains and shit.
Concentration
we
camps.
We get to see fucking, we'll use fucking fake names to be like, you know, Pelon Pusk or some shit. Gets fucking decapitated, you know?
We'll fucking, gets...
You know, Greg Baisley or some whatever the fuck.
Right.
You know. Fuck it. No, we're just going to let him he suffocates and shit.
Yeah, I like it.
You know?
It's starting to be a good idea.
Billionaire Holocaust coming soon to a theater near you. All proceeds go to bringing about the death of capitalism in America.
Oh, there you go, TJ. I like the way you think.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, like Montana or something. And we will build, we won't call them gulags, but they will be kind of like gulags. And we'll put them there. And then...
Man, this Bernie impersonation is really on fire.
I mean, so, in fairness, my Trump impersonation is awful. But ironically, my Trump impersonation is a better Bernie Sanders impersonation.
Yes.
Because when I talk like Trump, I talk like this, which I feel sounds more like Bernie. So.
I mean, I think pretty much anybody could do. You know what the problem is? That Bernie's got an old, deep, gravelly voice, and you sound like you're sitting in a helium tank.
That's probably, that could be contributing to the fucking problem.
I'm Bernie Sanders. We'll put them in concentration camps. Yeah.
And you sound like Popeye.
We won't be billionaires anymore. And we will liquidate the kulaks. And we will unite the workers of the world. Bernie Sanders really going for it. He tweeted out, "There is no justice when 3 billionaires are able to own more wealth than the bottom half of the entire country."
Okay. What do you disagree with?
Is he gonna? Like, I hope to fucking whatever I don't believe in, that he fucking elucidates why that's a bad statement.
Come on,
please
tell me why.
Make the argument for why 3 people should be richer than the bottom half of the country.
I want to hear it.
Well, no, there might be justice, depending on whether they also employ hundreds of thousands of Americans, made millions of lives better with their products, and engaged in voluntary exchange.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with nah, dog.
I'm gonna go with you have a corporate dick up your ass right now. You fucking piece of shit. And I'm also gonna go with
I'm adding a new scene. Go ahead.
When the fucking coming collapse eradicates this fucking whole system that you and your cronies have set up, you will not be remembered fondly for your defense of this fucking vampirism. I think everything that you just fucking elucidated was the weakest shit. Can you replay it again? I want to hear his fucking little tippy-toe tap dance around the obvious.
They also employ hundreds of thousands of Americans.
Sorry, I need to go back for
Bernie Sanders really going for it.
Yep.
He tweeted out, "There is no justice when 3 billionaires are able to own more wealth than the bottom half of the entire country."
And your answer to that is?
All right, so now here's his answer to that fucking statement.
Well, no, there might be justice, depending on whether they also employ hundreds of thousands of Americans.
All right, so the first is they employ people.
Okay. So why should we all be fucking clapping our hands because they give us shitty jobs?
I would also like to add that, from my perspective, I don't feel like they're employing people. I feel like the goods and services that ordinary people need in this fucking system, like my demand for a TV or a couch or a calculator or a fucking toaster or whatever is what fuels demand. Like that's the demand for those. That creates those jobs.
I
don't believe in this mystical idea. And by the way, the fewer people that guy can hire, that's what he's going to do. If he can replace every single one of his workers with fucking drones tomorrow and save $1, he'll fucking do it in a goddamn heartbeat. He doesn't give a fuck about employing people.
We've been reduced as a people to just worshiping at the teat of these giant fucking entities for giving us their fucking table scraps.
Here's a crumb. Oh, thank you, massa. Oh, good crumb. Oh, so tasty. Oh, delicious crumbs.
I fail to see why we should fucking all get down on our knees and fillet these corporations.
You should be creaming in your fucking panties right now, Paul.
Fuck these people.
They gave you a gerb, man.
Everybody hates their fucking job, especially if you work a corporate job for a corporate entity. I never ran into a person that was like, "Heidi-ho, I'm the happiest fuck you."
I'm
Never.
so happy to be slicing this bread here at Subway.
So why are we all looking up at fucking, the dude brandishing the fucking whip?
Well, here, let me ask you this: what's preferable to most people? Like, hey, sandwich guy working at Subway, would you rather have more money or less money?
Right. What's the answer?
I mean,
There's just no way that we should all be crawling around servile to these corporations for distributing their labor amongst us. And by the way, spending millions and millions of dollars every year lobbying against protections for workers so they can pay you an ever-dwindling wage and fucking literally slack off on their obligation to pay you for the immense amount of time you spend doing their business for them so that they can reap 99.9% of the profit. So I've already got a problem with being thankful for these corporations on exploiting people in that way.
Made millions of lives better with their products and engaged in voluntary exchange.
All right, so made people's lives better with their products.
Okay, well that's...
So let's say I need a toaster.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So I want a toaster. There's lots of fucking companies selling fucking toasters. And what am I basing? Maybe I'm shopping for a cheap toaster because I don't have a lot of money. Maybe I'm shopping for the best fucking toaster because I really fucking like toast and bagels and shit.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, there ain't no one person that's got that toaster market on fucking lockdown that I need to be thankful for the fucking toaster for. And these companies, for the most part, didn't invent this shit. On very rare occasions did they actually invent it. Usually it was invented by someone else, and they're just one of many companies that are trying to make a fucking dollar off it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
And maybe there is.
And there's no nobility in it either.
I don't feel, you know what? I don't pay for fucking the toaster I buy with my gratitude. I pay with money.
Right.
They're compensated for giving me the fucking thing. That's the whole fucking procedure, right? I give them money, they give me a toaster. Now you're saying I owe them more than I need to thank them because they fucking provide. Oh, thank you so much for this toaster. They didn't give it to me. I bought it.
Right.
You fucking moron. Now I have to pay them with my gratitude too? I have to lick fucking the president of GE's ass because he fucking sold me a refrigerator? Fuck you!
Right. I mean, the idea that one of these companies could, because I'm a big advocate of stopping this fear of companies packing up and leaving this country. I think we ought to support them in doing so.
Yeah, fuck off. Get lost.
I think
no one else will manufacture that shit.
Any one of these fucking companies that doesn't want to pay their fair share, doesn't want to take care of their fucking employees and share that wealth. Dude, the truth is corporate CEO, top level CEO profits have it's insane. Have you seen the graphs of that shit since the fucking 80s?
Up and up and up.
It looks
skyrocketing 10 times, 20 times, something like that.
It
Crazy
looks like
numbers.
the sheer wall of Mount Everest. It's climbing at such a precipitous rate.
Maybe I can find a chart.
These people have more than enough money to distribute back amongst the people that make the products that they're talking about, and the ones that don't want to do that.
So
let them go.
CEO compensation has grown 940% since 1978, and worker compensation has only risen 12% in that time.
Look at it.
So basically, CEOs who were already making a shit ton of money in 1978 have seen to it that their wages have gone up 940% while worker wages have only risen 12% during the fucking same time period.
And that's not even on pace with inflation, so worker wages haven't risen at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this has been adjusted for inflation. I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know if it has or it hasn't. But at any rate, it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
And we should be thankful to these people.
And so basically, for that 12% of the fucking, for that 12% raise since 1978, and for the toaster or the refrigerator or the air conditioner in your house, and for the fucking shitty job that you have and that you probably fucking hate if you're like most Americans, for that stuff, you're supposed to feel this immense, powerful surge of gratitude to these fucking intrepid masters of industry. Like, wow, we should be licking their fucking boots, right?
Of course.
And who is it delivering this message to us? Oh, it's a fucking rich kid from Hollywood who's never had any real fucking financial struggles in his life.
Of course not.
Whose popularity was bought for him by the fucking Koch brothers. Fuck this piece of shit.
He's just a shill.
So his new plan, Bernie Sanders, he's going to go for the super duper wealth tax. And you knew this was coming, right? Elizabeth Warren proposed for 2% wealth tax, which is unconstitutional and would not raise anywhere near the kind of money she's talking about, because you know what wealthy people are very good at? Tax avoidance. Very, very good at it.
Wow, it's
In
almost
fact,
like we
it's one
should
of the
do
reasons-
something about that. It's almost like we shouldn't just blithely throw that out as a talking point that's somehow a positive, and maybe focus in on the fact that you just admitted that billionaires are engaging in tax avoidance. Don't you go to jail for that?
It's, the actual term is supposed to be evasion, by the way.
Right.
It's actually a fucking crime.
Avoidance.
Avoidance. Oops.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so, bringing that up as a positive is kind of weird.
That's why you see Democrats say stuff, well, you remember back in the 1960s when the top tax bracket was 91%. Right, and the effective tax rate on rich people was pretty much the same, because rich people started taking their money and putting it in places that were not taxable.
Right. Hence
Let's
the higher
stop that.
tax rate.
Let's stop them.
Right. Why are we just accepting the fact that this is status quo and doing business? So yeah, we tried to tax them, remember? But then they just moved all their money illegally overseas and tied it up in other businesses and jumped through loopholes. I mean, what are you gonna do? I got some ideas. How about plugging some of those loopholes? How about repatriating some of those funds that are sitting in the fucking Bahamas?
The tax revenue of the federal government versus the GDP of the United States has basically remained stable since the reduction of war spending after World War II. So that has not really changed. But Bernie Sanders is proposing a new wealth tax, a 1% tax on net worth over $32 million every year.
Why?
Oh my God, poor over $32 million people.
Right.
I mean, like, how many people watching this video, like, hey, show of hands in the chat, how many of you guys have more than $32 million in income?
I'm sure there'll be a few hands.
I mean,
certainly.
It's just look at them. Oh, they're just shooting up.
An endless parade of hands.
How many fucking people, like, are you seriously on here on YouTube trying to fucking make the case to me that I need to feel bad?
Yes.
That someone with $32 million is going to have to pay 1% of that in taxes?
Not only that, but somebody that has $32 million that were made by the labor of everybody else that has no dollars and made for the benefit of people that have no dollars and made for the consumption. So you've basically given them this $32 million. They should be thankful to us, the people that buy their stupid shit and support their stupid fucking companies and build their stupid widgets and the buildings that their factories go around. They should be thankful to us. Why is the coin lying fucking tails up here?
2% from 50 million to 250 million, 3% from 250 million to 500 million, 4% from 500 million to 1 billion, and 8%.
All right, so let's say I'm sitting there with $250 million, right?
Right.
And then someone comes along and takes like, what is it, 3% of it?
Yeah.
Let me see. What would my lifestyle do at that point?
Oh man,
it would remain exactly the same.
You'd probably have to sell all your property.
No, that's nothing. Like they make more than that, even just like on interest and shit. Because they don't fucking, when you open a fucking savings account or something or a checking account over at fucking like Bank of America or some bullshit, they don't give you shit back.
Right.
On that, it's like, oh, you get like 0 point whatever percent. These rich people are getting like 10 fucking percent, 11%, 20%. Fucking not 20% probably, but they're getting this huge return on investment just from the interest their money fucking generates.
Right.
So I mean, that's nothing to them. It's nothing to them. A 3% fucking tax on wealth is fucking jack shit.
And this is
I know that's not the only tax that's being proposed on them, but that's not going to fucking hurt these motherfuckers.
That's the defense that's being offered here by this dude.
Like, why we're supposed to feel bad for people who are super rich, who are going to be taxed and then still be super rich afterwards. Like, there's not going to be any billionaires in the breadlines because of this fucking tax. This is not going to stifle fucking entrepreneurship in this fucking country.
It's unthinkable to even think about billionaires being in breadlines. They run this shit. 3% is nothing to them. They're just defensive of any idea that they should have to give back. Period.
Percent on wealth over $10 billion. He says this will raise $4.35 trillion per decade. And then he says this would be used to fund Bernie's affordable housing plan, universal childcare, and the top fund, Medicare for all. I mean, that is sort of a problem.
I like how he puts on the stupid voice when he's talking about actual solutions and beneficial things to people's fucking lives, and keeps his serious Ben Shapiro voice on when he's sucking that corporate dick and talking about how bad it would be for a billionaire to give up fucking 3, 4, 5, or even 10% of his annual income. Ridiculous.
Medicare for all is supposed to cost something like $34 trillion. So if he raises $4.35 trillion over the next decade, not sure where the other $30 trillion is going to come from, but this is Bernie's.
How about some of that shit you were talking about earlier?
He's already explained this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Bernie has come right out and said, yes, your taxes will go up, but for the average person, you're going to be paying less you're going to be paying less in taxes than you would be if you were actually buying private insurance on the fucking, open market.
Right.
So for the average American, the vast majority of Americans is going to save money. So Bernie Sanders has not said this wealth tax is going to be what funds fucking Medicare for all. I'm sure it could be part of it, but that's not what's been said, so you're fucking basically just lying.
Well, he's also talked about some of the things that Ben invoked on his own in this video earlier on. The idea that, how did he put it? Wealthy people are good at escaping tax
avoidance.
Tax avoidance. There you go. Yeah, Bernie talks about a little bit of that too. How about stopping people from profiting, like moving 90% of their profits to Ireland and then bouncing it to the Ukraine and then ending in a place that has an effective zero tax rate and pretending that most of their business is based there? How about closing the loopholes that allow these people to accumulate these vast fortunes and keep them generationally?
Bernie Sanders upping the ante. And also, Bernie Sanders is more of a true believer than Elizabeth Warren. And you're going to see him make that case. So just in the last 24 hours, Bernie Sanders is drawing the contrast between Elizabeth Warren and her supposed warm embrace of capitalism and his own love for socialism. Here's Bernie saying that people are brainwashed to believe in capitalism. Someone says this to him, and of course, he fully agrees. Even though I have a lake house and I love pudding, many types of pudding. Pudding is delicious.
Hunter Avalon level
pudding.
fucking...
Pudding.
I love pudding. Pudding. When is Bernie? Is there a Bernie pudding meme?
I don't believe there is.
That I'm unaware of?
I don't know of it.
Brainwashing, or the idea, at least like I grew up with, is that our definition of success is like the American dream in great capitalism. You're rewarded for getting everything and just keeping it to yourself and not worrying about everybody else. And that's sort of like a psychology that we've all been taught.
I think Lizzie is exactly right. It's a profound point.
Oh, it's super profound.
Well, I'm sure that's all he had to say.
Why is that controversial?
Yeah,
even as is, out of context, why is that controversial?
Because, of course, what she said was lunacy and madness. But, I mean, even... You didn't show the fucking whole... I mean, like, why was there such a... Like, so Bernie heard all that, and he just said... That's all he says. Like, that's a good point.
That's a profound point.
I fully endorse everything you said. Like...
End of soundbite.
Yeah, I mean, like, what the fuck? I feel like more was probably said.
Nah.
But
this guy's just a
even in and of
disingenuous...
itself, it's not like, where's the fucking scandal? Where's the fire, dude?
The truth is, this dude is just a foot soldier in the fucking army that we're talking about that supports these fucking big vampiric organizations that are just hoarding ever more of the wealth that they extract from being part of this fucking country. And how far will they be able to push the people that they abuse in order to extract that labor? I guess that remains to be seen. But
to believe
I just know what side of that fucking argument I'm on. And this fucking douche weasel's like explanation for being on the other side of that argument is just absurd. It just falls apart in his mouth before it ever comes out. You've already made the argument against yourself.
that capitalism is good. People have been brainwashed to believe that capitalism is good by, the immense prosperity that capitalism has created. But if we get rid of capitalism, everything's like, I don't know how he claims that he is in favor of quote unquote democratic socialism, Norway, Finland, Sweden style, when he is ripping on capitalism, which provides the entire growth basis for the Nordic countries. As every politician in Norway.
Oh, how's that so? How does it provide the growth basis in those Nordic countries for the social change that we're talking about? Is it through taxes?
Yeah, that'd be it. I don't understand how Bernie can want to raise taxes when he wants to emulate all these places with higher taxes. Oh, wait, actually, that's completely consistent. Never mind. Oops.
And Finland will tell you openly. But Bernie is trying to draw a contrast with Elizabeth Warren. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that was something.
That was life draining.
That was good stuff, Paul. I don't know what you're talking about. You crazy.
What an idiot.
So,
I hate his stupid fucking face.
I don't blame you. Let's move on. Kanye West says he's no longer going to make secular music.
Oh. Yeah, I heard about this.
The rapper reportedly said he will only make gospel music going forward.
I think this is just another troll.
Yeah.
I think he's just like whipping up some more controversy and he's going to drop a big fucking rap banger pretty soon.
With the release of his album Jesus is King at press time slated for some time today. That never happened, right?
There's been a couple of dates that haven't been met on this. I thought it was like the 17th at first, and then it's gotten pushed back till apparently today or yesterday. I don't think it's out yet.
So this is going to be called Jesus is King. All right. He's only going to make gospel music now. I'm sure people are going to turn up for that.
This has to be a troll.
I mean, one would hope, but
I mean, it's Kanye, dude.
Yeah,
this has to be a troll. Either that or, just a speed bump and otherwise fun career. Because, come on, man. We can't lose Kanye to gospel music. Anybody but Kanye. Come on. Take any of these other fucking pop stars that are, hot right now. Take Moist Calzone.
Yeah, take him. Take him.
You just don't take Kanye.
Leave Kanye alone.
This can't be right.
Plane passenger opens emergency exit for a breath of fresh air.
Wow.
So I'm assuming this was not mid-flight.
No.
So basically they were delayed by an hour, and she opened the emergency exit.
Great.
The aircraft because she reportedly felt the cabin was too stuffy and wanted a breath of the fresh air. Yeah, I mean, I've been there. I've been in that stuffy-ass
You know
cabin.
what you do, though? You sit there quietly and stay stuffy until the fucking plane takes off.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to go about it. I don't think it's a good idea to open the emergency door on the plane.
I mean, far be it for me, like, honestly, part of me wants to just empathize with this woman right off the bat, because you are treated like a fucking
animal
on these planes.
Actually, animals should be treated better than that.
Yes, they should. You're just, like, treated, like, worse than cargo.
Yeah.
And, so far be it for me to argue for the airline companies and this. I don't think you should be popping the emergency exit on any goddamn plane, though. If you want to get up and leave the plane, just demand to get off the goddamn plane.
Yeah, so a lot of times they won't let you off at that point, though, if they're, like, taxied and waiting and shit.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. I kind of have some sympathy, but obviously, ultimately, there's safety reasons you shouldn't be doing that. So here's a fucking story. Is Hillary gearing up for late-stage do-over against corrupt human tornado Trump?
Oh, God, man.
Hillary, dude, all right, listen.
Please, no. Can she even do that now? This far in the fucking primary process? She can just jump on in?
We're not as far in the primary process as it feels like. We're just starting. We
Right.
just started this election cycle super early because we're all just ready to move on.
I forgot that we've started fucking the campaign for the next election cycle
Right,
on
so
the
we still
first
got-
day of the
Yeah, so
last
there's
one.
still plenty of time for new people to enter the
Yeah.
race. And we probably will see some late comers.
Will
trying
she
to
jump
fucking-
in time to make a debate, though?
I don't know.
Or is she trying to dodge this whole debate circus?
Maybe
and just
she's just
circumvent
trying
it?
to come snatch it up at the last minute. Oh my God, let me just say this though. Come on, Hillary, listen. Dude, Hillary, I don't like you. I'll be honest with you. I have like major problems with you as a human being. But let's just set all that aside. Just don't do it.
Please.
Come on, man. don't fucking do this.
Anything
all
but
right?
this. Anything but this.
Like, no, man. Like, it's not going to happen. I understand. Look, I get it. You feel like you just need to be president.
It's almost like
you feel like you deserve it. You feel like it's your destiny. Let me fucking just assure you it's not. You have your career is perfectly amazing.
Yeah.
You've done some incredible
Secretary
things.
of State.
You've obviously are
Senator.
a major power broker. You're fucking rich out the ass. You get paid fucking buku bucks to go give boring speeches to disinterested corporate drones.
Yep. You don't want this.
You know,
you don't need it, Hillary. Come on.
I mean, like you've made it. Like you've made it so much further than anyone else in American history. But this is just not for you, man. This ain't for you. This is the one thing that you're just not gonna get,
dude. How much?
Just make peace with that and move on.
How much of a MAGA wet dream would it be for Hillary to announce?
If I was
get the nomination again
if I was
skullduggery.
If I was a Trump supporter and it was Hillary again, I would literally die from the fucking erection.
Oh my god,
that caused. I would maybe that's the plan. She fucking gives all the Trump supporters erections that will not stop.
That sounds
by running again, and then they all die.
Okay,
and then there's no Trump voters left. And then she wins.
Maybe so.
So
dude, I can't imagine.
Maybe there's a sound strategy behind this.
That would be a picture-perfect completion of every Trump supporter's masturbatory fantasy.
Oh, my God, yeah.
To have Hillary steal the nomination again from somebody that might actually be able to beat Trump and get humbled again as America turns out overwhelmingly against her.
I just wonder, man. I just wonder if maybe she can do it, dude. Maybe she can do it.
No, she can't do it.
Maybe she can do it.
No, she can't do it.
Maybe this time she's rigged the whole fucking process.
There's no way.
Maybe she's rigged it down to the fucking gnat's ass where this time she can't lose.
Maybe so. Maybe she'll do it. Maybe she'll steal victory from the jaws of defeat on this one. Come back and a new era of peace and prosperity will reign.
If Hillary does win, I think that her victory speech should just be her looking at the audience and beginning to cackle with maniacal glee like Sideshow Bob from fucking...
or just a mic drop. Just pull the mic out of the stand and turn it sideways and drop it and walk off the stage, dude. Statement made.
Yep. Like you said I couldn't do it. Who's president now, bitch?
Then just have like a giant glass ceiling over the event that shatters and kills everybody
in the fucking audience.
Shreds everybody.
But Hillary's fine.
Of course.
No, maybe Hillary should fucking ascend in like a protective bubble.
Right.
And then smash the glass and all of her supporters are destroyed beneath her.
Right.
And she just looks on like in like contempt as they're fucking ah!
Sounds fantastic.
Let's do it.
I support this idea.
Hillary 2020. What can I say? I've talked myself into it. Let's turn back to the Highdeology folks to take us to the end of this motherfucker.
Yeah, let's ride the Highdeology folks home.
Yeah, we're gonna ride you guys home. Gonna wrap it up soon. Got some steaks to cook and shit.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I can't wait for them steaks.
It's gonna be good. I've starved myself today in preparation.
Plus, I'm starting to get sweaty sitting in this room.
Yeah, it's getting a little hot. She ain't gonna do it. This is just an article trying to get clicks. Whatever, dude. I believe what I read on the fucking Zero Hedge.
Dude, you never know. Dude, you can't count her out. You never know what Hillary's gonna do.
Oh, she's up to something.
That article mentions. I read it earlier.
Yeah.
That article mentions that she's like upping her media appearances and
trying to raise that profile a little bit.
Starting to get the conversation started.
She ain't. She's running. Dude, all I need to know Hillary's going to run is the vaguest of insinuations that she's going to run.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Because she wants it so bad.
If there's even a whiff of it, she's running.
Because you know what? I don't care what you say. That bitch, at the core of her being, wants nothing like she wants to be president.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't care about anything else in this fucking world besides being fucking president.
She believes. She believes it.
Yeah, and she knows that it's owed to her. She believes that she's entitled to it. Psychologically, the lizard being that exists beneath the fucking external thing that we see as Hillary Clinton wants that presidency and will not stop until it's hers.
She's going to get it.
Dead.
She's going to get it one way or the other. She's going to get it.
She's going to either be...
She might stab Bernie Sanders in the back with a literal knife on the night of the fucking inauguration, dude. She might pull a Caesar. She will stop at nothing. She'll stop at nothing.
At 2 Hillary!
She'll put her fucking face on all the coinage of the realm, and the reign of Hillary will start.
You thought I'd be the first woman president? No! I am the first emperor of America!
God. Can you imagine?
The fucking drone army is released. Yep. She sends them forth like her fucking army of flying monkeys to subdue the angry populace until we all realize that there's simply no stopping her.
Right.
Please do these more often. All right. Well, we'll see.
Dude, you should read Dune. It's a lot like what we're talking about, dude.
I've read Dune.
You should read it again.
Again.
I've been reading Dune, dude.
You know, I have been looking for a new book, so maybe I will
reread Dune.
Reread Dune.
I'm like halfway through the second book.
No one believes Epstein committed suicide. Come on. There's no one who legitimately believes that was a fucking suicide. D's Nuts 2020. Probably a better choice than...
I'm going to write you in,
what's
sir.
out there.
You've
Bernie
won me over.
Will get the nomination, but we'll give it to Warren no matter what. Why? Oh, I don't know. That's a weird take. You'd have to explain more of that.
Little historical precedence for that, though.
Sanders has a heart attack in 2 years, then Warren and Biden drops out all of a sudden. What?
Say what?
I'm a little confused. I think the timeline's a little off there, but
I think Smoke Perp has been smoking a little too much perp today.
Yeah. She'll run as Bernie's VP and then openly assassinate him on Inauguration Day. Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
She'll be like, and I'm going to bring Hillary on board.
I'm with her.
Next thing
That's
you know,
right. You're with me forever in my treasure trove of souls, Bernie Sanders.
And when you're here with me, you float too.
Paul, have you read the Silmarillion?
I have never read the whole thing. I've read parts of it. I was never able to get into the Silmarillion. Sorry. Not my favorite of Tolkien's work.
Do a fart, TJ. Looks like we're ending this at around the right time.
Yeah, dude, it looks like all the gas has gone out. We've rode our patrons hard and put them away wet, TJ, just the way they like it.
Oh, yeah. They love it. They love it. We're going to give you guys all the way up till 7 here. And then we're
what time is it now?
6:57.
Oh, shit.
They got a handful of minutes left.
They've got 3.
Yep. I might give them a little extra one because I know it's a little behind. So.
Oh, I see.
We'll see. Maybe I'll give them to 7:01 on my clock. My bad. I meant to say Sanders does of a heart attack.
Wow,
okay,
man.
Just stop.
Just give up.
Stop before you hurt yourself.
You're not going to make any sense, bro.
You know.
It's just like, there's some goals that are unattainable, and for you, making any fucking sense is just not going to happen, man. It's okay. Embrace it. There's been plenty of people out there that enrich themselves
gibberish.
by not making any fucking sense.
Yeah, like we have a president,
Yeah, and us.
There's a DFF. There is a DFF as well tonight, huh? That is so much. Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, it is so much.
You better fucking save room.
Yeah, because you think you've fucking seen the last of our fat asses for tonight? No. We got more coming at you. We got a public DFF tonight still. And it's a bleak, depressing motherfucker that's going to make you want to split your fucking wrists, too.
Yep. Just the way you like it.
Yep.
Hot, fresh, existential depression.
Oh, yeah. Tasty stuff.
Favorite Stephen King book, TJ, go.
Book. Okay. I'm going to go with, I like It. Second favorite, since I've already praised It fucking to the end of the world, I like The Stand.
Yeah, The Stand would
Stand's
be
a really
mine.
good one.
For sure.
Definitely a close second for me.
Do a DFF on fat-ass white girls, or pogs, as they're known in the kids with their hippity hop. They call them pogs.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean fat. That just means
that's fat ass.
Yeah.
Like white girls that have like
I got you.
yeah.
Fat ass white. Yeah.
Fat ass white girls. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Bernie and Warren team up. I don't want it.
Meh.
I do want to know about pogs. I mean, I feel like I feel like you know all you need to know at a glance, you know?
Yeah, they're white girls with big fat asses.
I don't know what more there is to say.
What do you want to know?
Maybe we can get a fucking geneticist on there.
Yeah, or maybe get some actual pogs in here to shake their big fat white asses.
There you go.
What about that?
Either of you ever had a pet rat? No, I haven't.
I never had a pet rat. I had a friend that had a pet rat, but no.
My wife once had pet rats. Mogs. I don't even want to know.
What's a mog?
I don't even want to know, dude.
I do. Maug. Sounds like the devourer of reality that everybody fears. And then Maug came from his ancient prison.
Do a DFF on boomers and then one on zoomers. I don't want to get with that. I think the boomer thing is lame. Intergenerational conflict. Have you heard Adam Kokesh is running for president? Well, I'm sure he's going to be inaugurated in 2020. Sure.
Yep.
I'm sure he's
definitely a serious
He's
stab.
going to get a significant percentage of the vote, and he's going to really do things in that
Oh,
election.
100%, for sure.
I don't think it's just
100% of the vote.
I don't think it's just going to be spiraling towards failure or anything like that. Rolling Stones versus Black Sabbath, battle to the death. Who wins?
I think you know the answer to that. I mean, if it's like a full-blown, like, fist-to-fist battle, Sabbath takes that, dude. They're way more fucking dark. They're going to go lower than the Stones are, dude. No, dude, the Stones are kind of like more effeminate rock, and Black Sabbath is more like codpiece rock, you know what I mean?
Yeah. When are you going to do another DFF on wrestling? I don't know if we need to. I think we covered it pretty well. Joe Rogan for president? No, I don't think that's a good idea. Just watch a compilation of suicide fails with the circus theme in the background.
Cool.
That's fun.
It fits everything.
It really does. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap it on
That's
up.
enough.
I think we had enough. I think we're tapping out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know what you thought in the comment section down below. And we love you all except for those of you that we don't.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.